Yes, really. Hmm. But we got concrete walls. You can't hear my music. Go ahead, bro.
Our Father, who art in heaven,
Our Father who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done
in earth
as
as it is in heaven.
it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts,
Give us our debts
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
power,
and the glory,
and the glory
forever.
forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the
For
Lord,
he is good.
for he is good,
His mercy endureth forever.
and his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
Praise the Lord, the God of
For
Israel,
he is good.
for he is good,
And his mercy shall endure forever.
and his mercy shall endure forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The mighty one of Jacob.
The mighty one of
The
Jacob,
Holy one of Israel.
the Holy One of Israel,
The King of kings.
King of kings,
And the Lord of lords.
and Lord of lords.
The scripture reading comes from 1 John 4:15 through 21. Whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwelleth in him, and he in God. And we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. God is love, and he that dwell in love dwelleth in God, and God in him. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. But he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his word. In Jesus' name, amen.
We'll have a selection from our choir.
Hallelujah. 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 Yes, sir. We serve a great God, an awesome God, and a merciful God, the God of Israel. How many know that? How many know that? I know that. Yes, sir. I thank him, I had a stroke. But you know one thing, I'm still here serving the God of Israel. Yes, sir. And it's worthy to be praised. I thank God for being my God and being there when I was in the hospital bed and didn't know which way to go. But God just said, and I just kept listening at the saints speaking the words of life. And it just let me and give me courage to come down here today to just to love on him. Well, I just shut up, but I just want to tell you, hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, we ready now? Oh, yeah. you're ready.
Love, a word that comes and goes, but when people really know what it means to really love somebody, love, though the tears they fade away, I'm so glad your love will stay. 'Cause I love you, and you show me, Jesus, what it really means to love, a word that comes and goes, but few people really know what it means to really love somebody. Oh, love.
Hallelujah.
Though the tears may fade away, I'm so glad your love will stay. 'Cause I love you, and you show me, Jesus, what it really means to love. The nights that I cried, you love me. When I should have died, you love me. I'll never know why you love me. It's a mystery to me now. I'm glad to see Jesus. When all hope was gone, you loved me. You gave me a song and you love me. Now I can go on 'cause you love me. It's a mystery to me now that I love Jesus. The nights that I cried, you love me. When I should have died, you love me. I'll never know why you love me. It's a mystery to me now, I'm glad to see Jesus. When all hope was gone, you loved me. You gave me a song that you love me.
Hallelujah.
Now I can go on 'cause you love me. It's a mystery to me now, I'm glad to see Jesus. What it really means. What it really means. What it really means to love. To love.
Yes, yes, that was love. How many know that's love? How many, we got love in the house today? Do you got love in the house? We got love in the house? Well, hallelujah. Yes, we thank you.
My God is awesome. He can move mountains, keep me in the valley, hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm broken, strength where I've been weakened. Praise His holy name. My God is awesome. He can move mountains, keep me in the valley, hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm broken, strength where I've been weakened. Praise His holy name. My God is awesome. 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 My God is awesome. 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 My God is awesome. Savior of the whole world, giver of salvation. By His stripes I am healed. My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His grace is why I'm living. Forever He will reign. My God is awesome. 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 My God is awesome. 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 He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. So mighty. He's mighty. So awesome. Oh, He's so awesome. He's great. He's great. He's great. He's great. He's great. He's great. So great. He's great. So awesome. Our God is awesome. And you know that He's holy. 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 He's so awesome. Oh, He's so awesome. Protector. 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 He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. He's mighty. So mighty and he's so awesome. Oh, he's so awesome. And you know that he's holy. He's holy. He's holy. He's holy. He's holy. Our God is holy and he's so awesome. Oh, he's so awesome. My God is awesome. He can move mountains. Keep me in the valley. Hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm broken. Strength where I've been weakened. Praise his holy name.
Praise the Lord in Jesus' name. We like a month away from a concert. Y'all know that, right? Because when the Lord see fit to put us in this building, we're gonna do more than two, right? We're gonna start it how we finished. That's what I'm saying. We did a whole lot of them when we was at the last one, so I'm expecting a little mini concert or something. Yeah, so y'all need to be preparing for that, because like I say, I don't know. You got to keep us praying. You got to keep prayerful, but we pretty much got a building, so you know what I mean. Just keep praying. Yeah, praise the Lord. Yeah, praise the Lord. And we got work to do when we get there too. And I don't just mean on the building. I mean within the community, and you know what I'm saying. Like we gotta do this for real this time. Like the last time we was there, you know what I'm saying. It was about us getting out of a hotel, establishing ourselves, having where to feel comfortable. Well, y'all know what comfortable feel like now. So when we get where we're going now, it's about being what we say we are: Israel, the Church of Jesus Learning Center. Like I mean, we don't just come here to just hold on to the information. Also, before we kind of get into the lesson, make sure y'all keep Sister Lenora in prayer. Y'all know Brother Paul not here today, but Sister Lenora, they don't you gonna see one of them. If you don't see both of them, you're gonna see one of them. Well, her surgery went well, and right, praise the Lord. But just keep her in prayer, because she's still, recovering, and that, she want to be here. And I think Brother Paul was here earlier. I guess I missed him, but he left. Y'all know that, Brother Paul be on this job, so, and that's how them Sunday preachers be getting it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what though? I'm not about to sing. So look, I know we still in February, but they tricked me. They had 5 Sabbaths in February. I'm just used to 4. So we ain't Black History. And you know what? This the honest thing about it. And I thought about Sister Melissa, because she wasn't here last week. So I had like hours on top of hours. We was gonna deal with I'm gonna tell you the name of it. It was the Resurgence of the Black Man. That's what it was gonna be called. That's what it is called. I just didn't want to teach it. I'm gonna tell you why though. And Melissa got this notebook, and she be keeping up. And so I done bought a new printer this week. I'm like, man, I made sure it copied out so we don't be running out of ink, all that. I went and got all this information. 1 out of every 2 black men that are born are gonna get locked up. All this information that, you know what I'm saying. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of talking about Israel. I mean, and and it's not. Y'all just don't know. When I got into the word, man, that was the subject. That was, you know what I'm saying. That was the beauty. I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite, and so it kind of wore me out, because Israel don't get you salvation, and don't get it twisted. The Lord got a plan for the black man. And he is going to resurrect us from where the position that we're in right now. And don't get the lesson done. We're going to get to it one of these days where we really, put out a whole bunch of information so Melissa can add to her notebook. She be keeping it, you know what I mean? And so we're going to get there, but ultimately, if we want salvation, there are two things key in order for us to obtain it. Number one, if you're truly serious about getting to the kingdom, you're going to have to figure out how to love somebody. And see, the society and the world that we in, it is structured around selfishness. Selfishness, greed, and gain. That's all, it's all about you. There is no reason in the world that there should be poverty where we about to go establish this church. Shouldn't be no poverty. You know why? Because the Philadelphia 76ers have been a black basketball team for well over the last 30 years since I've been watching basketball. Y'all should have bought up the community because y'all make millions. But guess what, though? That's not what we're taught to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're not taught to love, share, and lend. And what they say, sharing is caring. That's what we tell the kids. We're not taught that. We taught that get it and get out. But brothers and sisters, that ain't going to get you, salvation, though. And I work for mine. You know what I mean? Go work for yours. Now, understanding as a black race of people in this society, the race was started 300-400 years before you got in it. So you ain't never catching up. So you always going to be behind. But ultimately, I've learned that, man, it's better to have a good name than riches. And the way you're going to have a good name is, number one, how you treat your neighbor, and number two, the integrity that you walk within. The level of contentment you have. Because we're going to learn today that all we want is one. You know what I mean? Like, honestly. And I'm just as guilty. Because here's the thing. So in my closet, I have, 50, maybe 60 shirts. I don't wear but 3. You too big. Nah, seriously, come to the house though. Sure. I mean, I don't wear them. You know what I'm saying? I got, we just get, and I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? We just get, that's what we are bred into believing. But salvation ain't about that, though. Salvation ain't about the things that you have achieved in this life as far as financially or as far as what I can say. I remember I had a friend, his daddy was a pastor. And so I had bought this was like 2001, and I had bought this nice, big, green, shiny Cadillac. And so I see my friend's dad, he knows me, we grew up, went to high school, whatever, and I see him at the gas station. So, we happy to see each other, and I come up to him like, hey, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing pretty good. I see how you doing. I'm like, what you mean? I mean, at the time, I knew what he was talking about, but I'm thinking, like, what you mean? You see how I'm doing? Like, obviously, you saying I'm doing good because I got this brand new big old car, but the reality, I was fighting the court case then. How good was I really doing? You know what I'm saying? The car, that's because I got a job. I make that money. That ain't no big deal. But I wasn't doing good. But see, that's the problem with our society and our way of thinking is we look at one another and measure that on how somebody's doing. And really, I'm going to tell you, the most peaceful people that I've seen, honestly, man, the homeless. And you know what they tell me when I go out there sacrificing my time, so I'm thinking. Sacrificing my energy, so I'm thinking. On a Friday night, though, by the way, this is what we as a church used to do every Friday night in Atlanta, which was we would go out and feed the homeless. You know what they said? Homeless said, man, we eat good out here. I mean, he was just telling me straight up. Like, it's rules to feeding the homeless, by the way. Where are we from? Like, it's rules to it. Like, I didn't even know. I thought I could just give them some food. No. You can't just give them. I'm talking about it's government rules to feeding the homeless. But the point that I'm getting at is they content, though. And you might say, but I don't want to be homeless. Neither do I. I'm just trying to get you to understand that their way of thinking, though. They don't have the burdens of the bills anymore. The bills is what got you strapped. That is what has you, like this is scripture in Proverbs where it said that the borrower is servant to the lender. So I want you to think about what you owe. You serve all them. But you want to tell yourself you free. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up today in Psalms chapter 15, verse 1, because this is far more important that we understand salvation comes with love and contentment. All right? So we're going to start this off at Psalm chapter 15, and we will read this whole chapter. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill?
All right, so understand, brothers and sisters, when he said who's going to abide in thy tabernacle, who's going to dwell in the holy hill, this is where the kingdom of God is going to be. In Jerusalem, in his holy hill, in his tabernacle. Okay, so the question is, who's going to get there? Now, as we look into Psalm chapter 15, we should see those that keep the commandments, right? We should see those that didn't eat pork, and those that, you know what I mean, like all who didn't go to, you know, Christmas service and kept every Sabbath. That's the answer. Go ahead, verse 2.
He that walketh uprightly.
So we do see he's telling you to walk uprightly. So there is a certain a measure of importance to what I just said. But watch what else is going to start talking. Go ahead.
And worketh righteousness.
Uh-huh.
And speaketh the truth in his heart.
Verse 3.
He that backbiteth not with his tongue.
But as we investigate the matter, yeah, you got to walk a certain type of way, absolutely. But then he continues and further says, he that backbiteth not with his tongue. That's dealing with me and Marlo right there. That's me dealing with another man if I'm not backbiting with my tongue. Go ahead, keep reading.
Nor doeth evil to his neighbor.
Oh, and he treat his neighbor a certain. We talking about getting into the kingdom. Now, verse 2 did give you some walking uprightly. Didn't even get into a whole lot of detail. But the rules is all still right here on how to get your salvation in this chapter. Go ahead, keep reading.
Nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor.
All right, so that's 1-to-1. You know, when I say that's 1-to-1, like we could say, he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart, that's, you know, how you fulfill your obligation to God. So that's one verse, one statement. Then the second one was how you deal with your neighbor. Verse 3 was. So that's 1-to-1. You follow what I'm getting at, right? The question was, how do you get salvation, right? Or who going to abide in our tabernacle, or who going to dwell in our holy hill? So let's see what the count going to be. Keep reading.
In whose eyes a vile person is contemned.
Uh-huh.
But he honoreth them that fear the Lord.
Go ahead.
He that sweareth to his own hurt, and changeth not.
Go ahead.
He that putteth not out his money to usury.
To usury. So that means that's when we start talking about putting your money out to usury, we talking about like loaning, expecting interest back. But the Lord say, hey, you ain't, matter of fact, you ain't give and don't even ask for it back in return. That is honestly how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Now look here though, brothers and sisters, you ask me for some money. Look, I got 6 kids. I'm broke. So if you say you're going to give it back to me, it also say that the wicked borroweth and payeth not again. So, you know, and look, we'll just take me and Brother Andre. If I come to Brother Andre to borrow some money, that means I'm supposed to be paying that money back. Now, Brother Andre is so kind enough to say, bro, you got a bunch of kids. Let's hold that money. Then it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, I'm just saying that when and look, you know, my granddad used to tell me, if you ain't, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got it. That's the truth. Well, you know, your banking account said $1,000. Yeah, and so does my car note, my electricity, my gas. So I mean, you know, but at the same time, though, what you learn in life is that sometimes love is a little sacrifice stuff. Because you know, some of that stuff we got, you know, Sister Sylvia with the Galaxy S50 that come out. you know, Sister Sylvia gonna have that phone. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm getting at is some of that stuff that we get, and she ain't the only one. I'm just picking at her, but I look at mine nice too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I pay on it every month too. I got the G8, they got a G7, G6, they got a K something, they got a whole bunch of downgrades. But that's what I'm saying. And look, I'm not trying to tell you that you don't have to get nothing. I'm just trying to tell you that what we really getting, what we doing is all just vain. It ain't that important. My phone gonna make a call like his phone gonna make one. Yeah, and he got that old BlackBerry. They don't even make that junk no more. But they both work though. When I call him, he answers. So I mean, but the point that I'm getting at is sometimes you can do without a little luxury to do for your brother. That's really love. All right? But you know, we ain't trying to do that though. You know what I'm saying? I need my 75-inch TV. That's how we think though. Which you really don't though. I'm just telling you, the 55 is gonna look big when you get it in there too. When I was a kid, my TV was 13 inches black and white. So, you know, I take anything at this point. So, what verse are we at?
5.
All right, go ahead and finish that up.
nor taketh reward against the innocent.
Uh-huh.
He that doeth these things shall never be moved.
So when you look at Psalms 15, it's showing you that the importance of obtaining salvation is just as equal or more to how you deal with your neighbor than it is with, just as equal or more than it is how you deal with the Lord. You need to remember that. Let's go to 2 Peter now, chapter 1. 2 Peter chapter 1. It's not going to be a long one today, y'all. But don't worry, though. See, look, this place right here that we've been in, this has been a state of confusion for me. The more we hear, it just, but the Lord humbling me with it too, so it's all good. So when we get out of here, those things going to be back smooth. And we're going to have the next of life problems. Because don't think they ain't going to come. Don't even know. See, we were so secluded in that other place. Now we about to invite the world in. So we're going to have them problems. Now, people going to be coming on the random asking for a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman going to be coming in there with all her kids and expect for this church to take care of them. And if you don't do it, you wrong. And if you wrong, it's going to be known through that whole neighborhood that we about to go set up in. I'm just telling you how I go down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we didn't have, what our problems was at that last place, right? It was wheels. It was the smell coming up from downstairs. See, we ain't going to have them problems no more. We ain't going to have them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have some more. What you think? Look, life is about that. You either walking into a storm, you're in the middle of one, or you headed out of one. You just left one. That's just mean you're going back into one again. Or like Job 14 say, man that is born of woman is a few days and many sorrows. That's what make you what you are when it's all said and done. I don't even want to talk to old people who ain't never had no problems. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you can give me. So that's what you're trying to be. When it's all said and done, you're trying to be able to improve the next generation with the stories of the experience that you gathered from the hell you've been through. All right, so that you can improve them. All right. So at any rate, 1 Peter chapter 1, and let's pick this up at verse 6. And we're going to go 6, 7, 8, 9. When you get there, go ahead. 2 Peter, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And to knowledge temperance.
So we know that we supposed to be, we picking this up in the middle or something, but we need knowledge. As a matter of fact, 2 Samuel, 1 Samuel tell you that God is a God of knowledge. And by him, actions are weighed. Like, you need knowledge. Like, if you don't know, it will kill you. Like, don't know you got herpes. See how that go down. Yeah, that's a problem, ain't it? Because I'm just saying, because people trying to act like, I don't want to know, it ain't going to, no. Have cancer and don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. You need knowledge. You need knowledge in this walk. Go ahead, keep reading.
And to temperance, patience.
So he said, and to your knowledge, you're going to add some temperance. That's a level of self-control. And then from there, you're going to add patience. That means that you ain't in such a hurry all the time so that you forget your earrings. That's what happened, right? You always forget something when you're in a hurry. Take your time. Go ahead.
And to patience, godliness.
But then he says, into patience, you need to add godliness. So that means I need to start being able to see Sister Mildred and start seeing a display of the Lord. Look, when you go out here to the rest of the world, what people see of you is the only reflection they're going to have of God. You don't want to know the God of Israel, not them, right? When you walk into a room, when you go to the grocery store, do you realize you're the only one that know? So when you stand in the line, it's like you God, you're the only light in the midst of darkness. And it's going to be like that, I would say 99% of the time, unless you're with one of us. I mean, seriously. Very seldomly will you walk somewhere else, and it happens, and you're going to see another Israelite, and then, as they say, all Israel ain't even Israel. Go ahead, keep reading. What verse?
7. And to brotherly kindness, charity.
So as as we grow in this walk, he's giving us the things that we need. You need knowledge, ultimately, and very much so first. But as we start getting to so what must I do next approach? He's like, look, I need some brotherly kindness. That's why we sit here every week and we run through the whole list. Really, we run through the list of everybody because we're trying to create an environment of being kind one to another. How many of y'all talked to Kamani since he lost his dad? I'm just saying. You ain't supposed to raise your hand. Right, but right, yeah. I know it was. No, you good, sis. I'm just saying, like, you got to consider that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's brotherly kindness. All right? But go ahead. What's the next verse? So if you got the knowledge, temperance, patience, godliness, brotherly kindness, charity, which charity, by definition, is the highest form of love. I don't know, love or you don't. You know what I'm saying? That's just by definition. We're going to read what charity is scripturally anyway. But, that's what they say, that it's like the highest form of love. I don't know. It's just love to me. It's either you do or you don't. But go ahead. For these things be in you and abound, what happens, Brother Dale?
They make you that you shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Right, so he's saying that you're going to produce fruit. If these things, so charity in there, like you need that to produce. If you don't have charity, then when somebody comes to eat from you, it is a rotten fruit. It's kind of like a worm done ran through the apple. You don't want that. It's still an apple though, right? But you ain't about to take that apple, or we used to have a pear tree in my backyard growing up. I don't want no mushy pear. I don't want no pear that just remotely look wrong. Well, we're talking about bearing fruit here. Go ahead, keep reading.
But he that lacketh these things is blind.
So he said, if you lack charity, that was one of the things. So we big on obtaining knowledge. But if you lack charity, then you can't see. Go ahead.
And cannot see afar off. And have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins.
He said, you done forgot that you had sin. And that you was part. And we're going to understand why he's saying that. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4. Like when we say that, like you forgot. See, this is what you got to understand. What you give is what you get. That's what you're going to learn. When I say what you give, how I treat you, Jacob, is how I'm treating God. Therefore, my reward is based off of that. That's what we're going to learn today. That's why it's so important, brothers and sisters, especially of the married realm, because that's your biggest test right there. When I say that's your biggest test, look, me and my wife, we together far more than any of y'all. You understand? So that's that starting ground right there. If I can't figure it out with her, like Lord gonna judge that, I'm spending more time with that. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. When you get there, go ahead and read.
But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves. For charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
You see what it's saying? Charity covers a multitude of sins. Look, y'all don't need to worry about what nobody else doing. Straight up. You need to worry about you. You hold, like Elijah mentioned, I guess it was last night, I don't know. I listen to that dude all the time. He say, look, in the Bible, it say we're supposed to be working out our own salvation. That means you got something to do. You got something to figure out. So he's saying, like, look, he's telling you here, charity, these are the rules. Like I tell my kids, I got the cheat code. This is the cheat code to salvation. Charity will cover your sins. Tell me you ain't got no sins, and then I guess you can walk around here non-charitable. I say you a fool. You say you ain't got no sins, though, because the book say otherwise. So you need this. You need to cover your sins. And how do you do so? Here's the rules, brothers and sisters. Just like it say, blessed are the merciful, so they shall obtain mercy. So you want to know how to get mercy? Exactly. That's the rule. Them words concrete. Like the Lord is giving you, that's what he told him in Matthew chapter 23. He was like, man, I done gave them the keys to the kingdom. Like you have the keys. You know how to function. It's all in the book. You just got to do it. What verse are we at?
Verse 9.
Did you read that?
No.
Go ahead.
Use hospitality one to another without grudging.
Right. So, like, without grudging, that'd be the big one. We'll do it. But, we got something to, like me, I'm the kind of person, when I ask you to do something, and you might say, yeah, but if I hear all that, no, I'm good. I can move on to the, like, and make it so bad, I ain't even going, I've learned, because I used to make it to where you know about it. Now, I figure out another way to backdoor, because I don't even want you to do it, but I don't want you to know now that I don't want you to do it. So I'll figure another way, and I'll either get it done myself or move on to the next. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, you doing it grudgingly, I don't need that. I really want you to do it. Like meaning, and I'm gonna tell you personally, if I call you and ask you to do something, I'm only asking because I really think you don't have, that this is a. See, to me, if Sister Mildred called me, it is a pleasure for Sister Mildred to pick up that phone, call me, and be like, Brother JD, I need you to do this. Oh, really? You think that much of me that you entrust me to handle? Because it's a proverb to say, when you have faith in a lane or, hey, I'm trying to think of basically it's say when you put your confidence in somebody who, when you have your confidence in a fool or something like that, it's like having your confidence, or you have faith in a fool. Yeah, it's it's right. It's like basically in so many words. If you put your confidence in somebody that's incapable, it's like having one leg or something. It's a proverb. I'll find it if you really want me to. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, if I'm calling you, Sylvia, to ask you for something, then I'm putting a level of confidence in you. So obviously, if you coming at me grudgingly about it, we're gonna move on to the next. Because I need you. I used to work in my cousin's restaurant. He paid me what he paid everybody else. I was the hardest worker in there, though. This was my family joint. I felt a piece of that entitlement. I wanted this to be a success. So it was a pleasure to work there until after a while I started looking at all that shrimp and pork ribs and was like, I might as well be on the block selling dope. At least that ain't in the Bible. I mean, just that reality of it. Because he was making a killing, too. $10 a pound of shrimp. Man, Israel coming in there buying it, too, boy. I was like, sure, I might as well be on the corner selling dope. That's how I felt about it. But the point was, I was all in. Not because you gave me more, but because I felt a part of what you're doing. And that when somebody asks you to do something, really, like, they're including you. So, like, have some entitlement and do it without grudging. So, at any rate, what verse are we at? Read 9, too. Did we read 9? Read it again.
Without grudging.
Hospitality. You know how they talk, me and my family, we from the South. Southern hospitality. That's because these folks are offering willingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but really, it's really a lot. I don't know. That's a stereotype. Because, I done been all around the world. I get hospitality everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's either in people or it's not. It's not just the South. But read the next verse, too.
As every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God.
All right, that's good. Let's go over now to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So charity or love covers a multitude of sin. Now let's learn what this charity is. It's important, brother. This one of them classes right here, brother. You know how when you in school and you can miss a little bit of the history class. Because they're going to pick it back up tomorrow. Same place, really. But you can't miss that geometry class. They start talking the difference between the obtuse and the acute angles and stuff and all that, and this formula and the poly this and all that. You can't miss that. Because you're going to fail, you miss that stuff. Well, that's how this is. Like I said, you can miss the Israel class. You really can. I mean, when I say you can, look, it don't, like Michael Jackson say, it don't matter if you're black or white. It really don't. Now, when it's all said and done, when you get salvation, race won't exist no more. It just won't. Ain't going to be, when we get into the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to be, salvation was granted, and it's going to be in that corner, them to save Israelites, and them to save Gentiles, and them to save Hamites. They ain't going to be like that. We just going to all be saviors, according to Obadiah. Y'all remember reading that last week? When they say the saviors, it was talking about us. This is going to be all saviors. You know what I'm saying? No race. So, but look, you ain't got this, though. You ain't got no charity. I'm telling you, we're going to run it today. 1 Corinthians 13, pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels.
So Paul's writing here, and he like, man, Paul said, I got gifts. Paul do. He got mad skills in his, if you go read the book of Acts, he was doing all type of stuff. Somebody was like, why didn't he go get to talk to Caesar? This dude here, he talked to Agrippa, though. King Agrippa, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And this is what he learned from all his experience. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels. Anybody heard the language of the angels? Yeah, I guess that's what that mine, hide, teku, or whatever that was in Daniel. I guess that's the tongue of angels. It is a language, though. He said, but he could speak with both of them, but do what now?
I have become a sounding brass or a tingling cymbal.
Go ahead.
And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge And though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity.
So he said, like, you know, I might be the greatest of them if I don't got no charity. Right. Now let's find out what charity is. He's going to tell us in a minute. Go ahead.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
And so you might say, well, wouldn't bestowing my goods to feed the poor, wouldn't that be charity? It just depends. We're going to learn what charity is. It just depends. Sometimes that ain't a sacrifice. Remember I told y'all we was feeding the homeless? Right, we was getting out there on Friday night. Think about it, that's the Sabbath. How much of a sacrifice is that? That's the day. It really is giving me something to do, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? And then what was we going out there to do? We was giving them some sandwiches, honestly. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We couldn't give them nothing warm. It was the Sabbath. We wasn't, you know, the people I was rolling with wasn't going to do that. So, I mean, and I'm not saying, like, it was a great experience for me and for those of us that got out there. I mean, but I'm just telling you something, though. It really wasn't that, like, I mean, see, I was out there at that point in the streets every day. So it didn't, but I'm saying that Friday night really wasn't all that to me. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like we doing it for the sake of doing it. We was doing it for show, really. Because it wasn't like you was going to go and holler at them people we passed that night when I picked you up. I mean, let me tell y'all something that I seen in Philadelphia that I ain't seen nowhere. I'm picking up Brother Dennis from the Greyhound station one night. And, yo, I literally seen a blanket, a cardboard box, laid out on the middle of the sidewalk where somebody is laying on the vent. And he looked like he was sleeping pretty doggone good, didn't he? He wasn't the only one I saw, though. I'm saying, what you going to do for them, though? You know what I'm saying? We wasn't doing for them. We was going to the park, you know what I'm saying, that they have down there, pulling up with our van, bringing out our stuff like, here, y'all come get it. If you come, you come. You know what I mean? So I'm saying just because you bestowing all your goods, and don't get it twisted, we were doing what we thought to do good. I'm not really hating on what we were doing. I'm saying, but as I began to get older, I understood that what you did, it really wasn't nothing. You didn't get that. You didn't dig. You know, you could do something from somebody and it ain't a sacrifice. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they might, oh, thank you. And really to you, it wasn't nothing. So I'm just saying, I wasn't hurting myself to go down there on a Friday night. Now, like I said, go find you somebody up under a bridge. It's around here, Island. You know, like if you go to Island and it's some stores on this side and a McDonald's on one and the Wendy's and so the way you get back and forth across there, it's a bridge. You ever ride up under there? It's some homeless people who live right there. I just thought I'd throw that bug out there. You know what I'm saying? It's some homeless people live there. Looking to go dig somewhere. Go ahead. What verse, though?
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Charity suffereth long.
So here we go. Now we're going to look at what charity is. Charity going to suffer long. That's an absolute statement, however that means. Whatever that means, you, your husband, and your wife. You dig what I'm saying? Like, if that means you got to suffer long. If it means me and Jacob got to suffer long. If it, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I got to suffer long. I got to be willing to suffer I have to endure this. This is charity. Suffer means it hurts me. It bothers me. Aggravates me. These are the terms that when you're talking about suffering. So I have to be aggravated long. You know, a lot of us, we ain't got time for that. Do you? Right. As soon as it bothers me, you know what? I ain't got time for you and your mess. That's your thought process. See, you got to understand that these little sayings and the things that we the things that the world has implanted in us a way of thinking that is contrary to God. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just me. I'm just me statement. Or that's how I am statement. That ain't godly. God in the business of changing you. What verse are we at? Go ahead. Right. Envy if not. That's what charity on. What else about charity?
Charity vaunteth not itself.
Charity don't put itself above no. So that means now look, stop looking at everybody else though. Judge within yourself. Because you might be in a room full of selfish people. Don't mean you got to compete, though. If you want salvation, charity is the bond of perfectness. This is what we're going to read. This is what we're learning. So then you have got to learn how to say, look, hey, I can't put my vaunted not itself. I can't put myself above nobody else. All right? Then to say, and it's what? Not puffed up? Same thing. Keep reading.
Does not behave itself unseemingly.
Uh-huh.
Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil.
Keep reading. This is charity. Go ahead.
Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth.
Go ahead.
Beareth all things. Believeth all things.
We talking about believe all things. We're talking about within the realm of what the scriptures is talking about. And when we say believe all things, like even like right now, that me telling you to humble yourself is going to make it work for you. Or for you to sacrifice for your fellow man is going to work and it's going to provide. For me to say giving to the poor is giving to the Lord, you got to believe that for you to decide to give to the poor. And that's a proverb. It say he that giveth to the poor. See, I love that proverb too, because what it's saying is, it's like, look, you giving to the poor, well, they can't give you nothing back. I mean, just think about it. Somebody come asking to borrow money from you all the time. Like, really? That means they ain't got nothing. Or they short. You got more. And here's another rule to that, too, because I was talking to a couple brothers, a couple of friends of mine. And we was talking about being a Hebrew loan shark. You know, because you be a Hebrew loan shark with no interest. You know, because we can't, you know, but, like, you know, so, and my man say, well, that wouldn't be cool. I was like, well, actually, it would be, because if you the Hebrew loan shark, that means you always got it. I mean, just understand that. Like, if your complaint is everybody is coming to me for money, I mean, what kind of complaint is that? That must mean you got it. You know what I'm saying? And here's something I learned in the world. There's some good philosophies out there. One I learned this from Russell Simmons. He say, life gives to the givers and take from the takers. Something to think about. Life gives to the givers and takes from the takers. And I mean, really, the concept is simple. I mean, if you always taking, that must mean you ain't got nothing. And if you always giving, that must mean you got it. What verse are we at?
Middle of 7.
Charity, bear all things, believe all things, hope in all things, endure all things. Verse 8, go ahead.
Charity never faileth.
So he's saying out of everything, charity can't be wrong. Keep reading.
But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
Right. Like we might come up with some book, and then 10 years later, the story done changed, and you be like, but I heard you. This happened to me before. I heard you on TV saying. I was like, yeah, but I found out it's a little more to that. I was wrong. Charity it ain't like you could say you saw me doing something charitable and then come back and be like, you shouldn't have been doing that, though. Keep reading.
Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
Go ahead.
For we know in part, and we prophesy in part.
That's a nice way of saying you don't know nothing anyway. Let's go to Matthew chapter 22 now. Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22. So that's what charity is. You gotta keep that one in your repertoire. Salvation comes with love and contentment. So we digesting the love part. We'll get with the contentment in the second half. But really, to me, they just go hand in hand. It's easy to love when you can be content, I promise you. Because you don't really care. That's what contentment is about. I don't really care. I'm good. Then you content. You know what I mean? Matthew chapter 22, verse 34, 35, 36, and 37. You get there, go ahead.
But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So, like, remember we was in that Psalm 15, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, who gonna abide in our holy hill? And so one of the first things we looked at really was, in this same vein, it was, your walk, I forgot exactly what he used there, but it was really talking about how you serve God. It said the first part of that Psalm 15 said, "He that walketh uprightly, worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart." All right. So now he's saying here, thou and it says, which is the great commandment in the law. So when we start talking the great, like what must I do that's of most importance? But then he said, well, you need to love the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, with all your existence. You need to love God. But then what's next, Brother Dale? Go ahead.
This is the first and great commandment.
Yes, it is. This is the first and great. But then what?
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
He said, but the second is you need to love your neighbor as yourself. And what he going to say?
On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
He's like, man, that's what everything is about. And even when you look at the 10 Commandments, you got 10 Commandments. The first 4 discuss how you love God. The next 6 discuss how you love your neighbor. And I like the fact that the first one is honor your mother and your father. That's not the first neighbor you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't figure this one out, it's like, if you can't figure, he's saying your days will be longer. Because if you can't figure out how to honor and love and deal with your parents, oh man, the rest of the world gonna destroy you. Or you gonna destroy yourself within it. Either way you want to look at it. All right, and we know that. We look at our society, we know that. Folks, they ain't got no love for their parents. Now, there's some parents out here that provoke their children. But if you got the kind, loving grandma, you know what I'm saying, and then you can't deal with that. Like, let me tell y'all a real quick story. My aunt is a probation officer down in Georgia. And so these 2 little girls, they come in, they twins. They live with their grandma. And the reason they live with their grandma is because they ain't got no respect for their mama whatsoever. But the grandma can't handle them either. And my aunt is their probation officer. Now, the commandments say honor your mother and father and your days belong. These 2 little girls are slick. They're always trying to get away with something. So my aunt finally, and the judge finally say, y'all need to go back to home. You're driving your grandma crazy. Y'all need to go back to y'all mom, but they can't stand their mama. Y'all know what them 2 girls are now? Google the story. They in prison. They killed their mama. Yeah. When I say Google the story, I'm serious. I remember the whole time it was going on. Yeah, them 2 little girls that was twins. They were like 13. My aunt was their probation officer. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but you ain't, and they in prison. You know what I mean? That's what you can't honor your mother and your father. You know what I mean? And they end up killing them. Put a whole story together. Oh man, it was sick. You know what I'm saying? But you can't honor your mother and your father, then it's a punishment on you. And it don't matter. How old am I? When am I responsible? You're responsible when you know better. That's when you're responsible. So at any rate, so that's your first commandment that's deal with your neighbor, is honor your mother and your father. Then the rest of that, then it even take it to your mind. Because by the time we get to the end of those commandments, what it's talking about, thou shalt not covet. That's all mental. So it's like, it ain't even just physical with your neighbor. Man, the Lord is so perfect that even the 10 Commandments is perfect. Go look at it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even just physical with your neighbor, but it's also mental with your neighbor. Like, it's a certain way you need to think about it. You know, so like Sister Joan the other day, she was like, yeah, she walked outside, seen her neighbor's stuff was like out on the ground. You know, my thing is, I'm walking, it ain't mine. She was like, nah, but she taught me a lesson. She was like, the Lord, he's like, it's in the book, ain't it, JD? And I'm like, yeah. I'm just sitting here listening, like, why is you picking at me right now? Because I would have left it alone. I ain't look, if it ain't mine, I ain't gonna mess with it. You know what I'm saying? That's your stuff. But then I'm looking at it, and the Lord is saying, like, treat them how you want to be treated. So how do you want to be treated when you leave $20 at, you go to Walmart and you put your money in there, and then, because you can do the self thing now, and your 20 is sticking out, and you walk and leave. What do you want to happen for you? You want somebody to tell you, right? Okay, so I was at Walmart Thursday, and the lady left her 20 in there, and it was just hanging. Now, you know what my first thought was. What was my first thought? My first thought was, if she walk out that door and leave that 20, and I get to stand in front of her, yeah, right? Hey, look, I'm a straight up individual. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you what I thought. But hold on. But the Lord banged my butt, right? Because Here come the little ghetto boy walking by. He ain't snatching. I said, the Lord banged me. He said, hey, ma'am, you left something. I ain't say nothing. I seen her leave it too. He said, hey, ma'am. I was just like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, taught me a lesson. Because like I said, you see what my mom like, shoot, if I get in front of her, it's mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't rationalize it because I'm going to have to put my money in. Like, it ain't like I'm still, but you know it was hers. But what would you want done for you? So now, anytime that ever happens, me personally, I'm going to be like, yo, look here, come get this. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was her income tax money, so she wasn't going to miss that 20. Oh, I had it all rationalized in my head. Yeah, I had it all rationalized. I'm telling you. Look, man, I'm not going to play games with you and act like the devil don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my 20. And you want to make it so bad? I didn't even need that 20. I had already said, man, y'all don't know. I didn't even need that. I had just $100. If you just really want to know. You know what I'm saying? So the whole trip was free. Me walking in the Walmart getting toilet paper, water, and dog food. It was free. You know what I'm saying? I was up $50 for the day off of where I started, and I'm being greedy, want 20 more. Just saying. And then I'm just gonna tell you, and then the Lord said, all right, I'm gonna get you for that though, for that thought process. I'm just telling you, like, because really I shouldn't have been thinking like that. You know, you supposed to, what we said at the beginning of the lesson, you're supposed to be the light to the world, not the little thugged out looking little boy. You know, and that's what would have been my job. Lord looking at it like, man, I could just use him then. If you ain't going to do what you supposed to do. Yeah, it did. Oh, yeah, he banged me. I'm just letting you know, though. So, at any rate, what verse are we at? 40. All right. What was that? We was in Luke? No, we was in Matthew 22. We read all the way to 40. Let's go to Luke chapter 10 now. Luke chapter 10. Mm-hmm. I keep it real with you. I'm just, the only difference between me and you is I've been in this thing longer. So I've seen it more times. But don't think the devil don't want me like he don't want you. Or put them thoughts in my brain like he might put them in yours. Right, exactly. And so I'm just trying to show you how you can learn your lessons just like I learned mine. And he got me back, though. That's the crazy thing about it. Like, the Lord got me back. I'm like, dang, man. I know, right? No, but I'm saying the Lord got me back, though, man. Like, and you sitting there tripping over $20. Oh, boy, I swear, man. Life is for learning, though. Remember that. Luke chapter 10, and let's pick it up in verse 25. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And behold, a certain Lord stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
Uh-huh.
And he said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind. And thy neighbor as thyself.
Man, that scripture ain't going to never mean more than it means to me now. To love your neighbor. Because I know good and well if that was mine, I would have wanted you to tell me. But that is not what hit my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really pissed at myself. Because that ain't what hit because see, what hit your brain is what you are. So that told me that ain't you. Now, the way it becomes you is that you see when it happens, you recognize you was wrong, and you tell yourself the next time it happens, you're going to change, and you're going to do it the right way, and then you go execute that. You got to go execute that. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you're going to really execute is you just got to keep putting that in your head like, man, I'm going to do it right next time. I ain't going to do that. And you pray about it. But you got to keep that focused in your mind so when that opportunity presents itself again, whatever the case may be, you jump on the right ASAP. Go ahead, verse 26.
And he said unto him, what is...
Oh, we read all that. He said, he answered, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all thy strength, or whatever, and thy neighbor as thyself. Verse 28.
And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Remember the class of salvation come with love and contentment. Go ahead, keep reading.
But he, willing to justify himself, and said unto Jesus, and who is my neighbor?
Man, y'all see that verse 29? That's what we do. We justify ourselves. We do that over and over again. Go ahead, keep reading.
And Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead.
Uh-huh.
And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side.
Uh-huh.
But
Now,
a-
you know the Levite, that's the priestly tribe. Yes, sir. So surely, you know, the Levite's supposed to know what to do. Go ahead.
But a certain Samaritan,
Samaritan ain't even an Israelite. All this time we be talking that story, that good Samaritan. I just want you to know, Samaritans ain't Hebrews. You got Levites, they supposed to be the priest tribe of the Israelites. But then you got the Samaritan, as he journeyed, he came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. Go ahead. He ain't just had compassion. Watch his level of charity. Go ahead.
and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. Mm-hmm. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
So he say, even, look, I'm finna go. I had something to do, but it's on me. You know what I'm saying? I got this. This ain't even no Israelite. You know what I mean? So this is really like how I went down with me at Walmart this week. Because this wasn't no, it would have been different if Dennis was there and he say, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's get, because Dennis, he a Hebrew. Man, this dude here, man, I promise you, like no exaggeration, like it was just a young punk. That's the idea of the mentality that comes to my mind when I see this who said something. Like me, I wouldn't even have thought you would have said something. You know what I'm saying? I just would have thought that you would have tried to get to it before me. Because you saw, I saw, and the security dude saw it. Security dude didn't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. It's almost the same story. That's what's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it really happened, though. Like, this really happened. I got the receipt when I got my water, dog food, or whatever. The lady in front of me left $20 hanging out the change thing, and I ain't say nothing. I'm telling you, it was. I was like, you know, it's like my mind was manipulated with maliciousness in it, really, on plotting on how I can come up 20 when you was already ahead anyway. Lord had already blessed your hand. You don't even need it. Yet still, though, you know, the world, finders keepers, losers weeping. All that, the world done programmed you to think. You know what I'm saying? To be an opportunist. But that's evil, though. What verse?
36.
Uh-huh.
Which noun of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves?
Right. And that's the whole point. Just like when you look at the situation I was in. Which one was being godly to this woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, which one was being godly? Keep reading.
And he said, he that showed...
Oh, that's good. That's good. No, read that. Yeah, read that.
And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, Go, and do thou likewise.
So that's what I learned. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what he's saying. Like, the one that wouldn't show mercy. See, mercy ain't always just about forgiveness. That's what we be thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in that situation that I was in, I wasn't being merciful to this woman. You know what I'm saying? I was willing to take what was hers. Just like that. Proverbs chapter 10. Proverbs chapter 10. So you got to think about that when you hit that drive-through line and they give you more on your chain. They give you your whole bill back. You know what I'm saying? But you do realize that this girl who worked there or guy or whatever who worked there, they going to suffer the consequence of overpaying you. You understand? So what I'm saying is God ain't always blessing you just because somebody done made a mistake. Maybe he testing you. You know what I'm saying? Like to see how you going to play this. Is you going to give it back? No, they ain't ring this up. How's you going to, how's you going to play that game right there? Like, it ain't, we like I said, the world got us being opportunists. But the Bible don't speak nothing about that. You don't see nobody being no opportunists nowhere in the book like that. Proverbs chapter 10. But yet and still you believe that the Lord going to provide for you. So if you believe the Lord going to provide for you, then let it come his way in all righteousness. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 12. That's why you ain't got to cheat on your taxes. You ain't got to be claiming kids you ain't took care of. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, I mean, just the bottom line. Now, if you did, it really is a rule for that. If you took care of a child 4 out of 7 days a week, you can claim it. That's the rule. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't did that, don't lie about it. But your faith in God, though. Don't even call me and ask me about it. Because my answer going to be, I ain't going to tell you yeah or nay. I'm going to say, so you took care, so like you was taking care, helping this sister who wasn't working, who got a child to that needs taken care of, you was helping her out through the year? You think about that now. Why you trying to claim that child on your taxes, and then you like, yeah, I'm going to break bread with them. You should have been breaking bread. So then the answer is next year, after you done help this woman with her kids, yeah, you can help claim them there. You know what I'm saying? So why is you asking me that? I'm serious. People have done that. Come to me asking me, can they claim? And I'm sitting here like, dang, so now you want to benefit from somebody that you ain't helped none this year. And if you help them, then yeah, you can. Proverbs chapter 10, let's pick it up at verse 12. When you get there, go ahead.
Stirreth up stripes, but love covereth all sin.
Self-explanatory. Leviticus chapter 19, sorry. Leviticus chapter 19. Right, them the cheat codes right there. Love cover up all sin, period. You want to know how to get from off your sins? Love. That's it. Them the rules. Leviticus chapter 19. And we're going to pick this up at verse 11. This stuff here is law. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11. When you get there, go ahead.
You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
Yeah, and when you start, remember all the law hang on too. When we start looking in the law, when you say you should not swear by my name falsely, that's not saying like, somebody might be like GD or something. First of all, taking the name of the Lord, you did that at your baptism. But really, he's saying, look, don't equate his name to any level of falsehood. Don't equate him, period. All right, you should. Then he's saying, when you're dealing with others, don't equate one with the other. That's why I be trying to tell these brothers, don't mix business with pleasure. If you want to talk to the girl, talk to the girl. But don't be trying to be God to the girl and talk to the girl. You know what I'm saying? That don't work. You can't do both, sorry. That ain't the rules to the game. So he said, and ye should not swear by my name falsely, neither should I profane the name of God. I am the Lord. Verse 13.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him.
So you ain't even supposed to defraud them. That means that if something belongs to somebody, then you're supposed to make sure they got that. You ain't supposed to cheat them, trick them, take advantage. Keep reading.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him.
Okay, you ain't got to keep telling me that, man. I know I was defrauding that sister. Now you going to keep banging me across the head. Right, I did not say read that verse again. Go ahead, dog.
The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
So really in the world, that's what I'm saying, the world ain't even structured right. Like when you work, you're supposed to get paid that next day. It ain't supposed to be, now don't get it twisted. If it's a job that me and Andre take and we get paid at the end, we get paid at the end of the job. Sometimes work is like that. You know what I'm saying? But if that's what we agreed on. But if you got the money, I'm supposed to be paying out every day the work is done. That's what the book said. When they was doing the Israel of God in Atlanta, they built that place. It used to be an old Pike's Nursery. That's what it used to be. And, and they paid them boys every day. I thought that was honorable. Now, when Bowie did that joint in Riverdale, I don't know about that. That was a massive project. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really wasn't massive. It was a real deal project. I remember I think the parking lot cost like $500,000. Like, yeah, I know that. That's crazy. Like, we had $500,000. We had our own building with we. You know what I mean? Like, y'all paid that for the parking lot. Yeah. So, but that's Lord bless that. Israel God been around a long time. But what verse are we at?
14.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind.
Yo, do not curse the deaf, y'all. I'm just telling you something. Don't do it. I used to do my great grandma like that. That's why I know about it. My great grandma couldn't hear, man. Yo, me and Me and my little cousin used to come in there clowning that old woman, man. We was dead wrong for that. I'm just telling you, we was dead wrong. Like the book telling you, don't curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but thou shalt fear thy God. And I love what he's saying. Like the Lord seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whereas they might not see and hear it, but the Lord sees. You need to have fear of him. Respect is what he said. Respect that I'm still in the room. Even so, like your grandma or whatever, they can't see. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord sees it. So have some respect for that. And that's what you got to do even when you're in the privacy of your own confines. Have some respect that the Lord's still watching you. Keep reading.
You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
See, the Lord been showing us how you deal with your neighbor all throughout the scriptures. These are the keys to your salvation. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among the people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
So we supposed to have that type of love. So if I got a problem with you, Sharice, not only because if I'm hating you, it got to be for something we got going. Well, then I'm supposed to approach you about this. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be leveled off so that it ain't no. Because look, man, I'm sitting here and I hate you, Sharice, and you don't even know why. And you just going on about your business, doing whatever. And I'm sitting here holding this 18-year-old grudge. Still ain't told you why. Make it so bad, it don't even exist no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know you, and then here's the craziest part. You mad at somebody that God done already forgave. Because when they done did something wrong, they done took it to the Lord, they done prayed to God about it, they been sorrowful, and you still pissed. What verse are we at?
18.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So again, we seeing here, this is the rule. You treat your neighbor how you want to be treated. And look, don't just look around here and act like we your neighbors. Because some people be trying to play that game like they don't keep the commandments, they not your neighbor, or they don't live next door to you, they ain't your neighbor. Like, look, man, just treat mankind like you want to be treated, and you're safe. We're going to go over to 1 John real quick, chapter 2. We read it all, didn't we? Yeah, we read 18. We're going to go to 1 John. We're going to add a scripture in this one real quick. 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2. First John chapter 2. And we're going to pick this up. We're going to read verse 3 through 12. 1 John chapter 2, verse 3 through 12. That's why, when you get old, you don't want to be that old mean woman. Or old mean old man. You don't want to be that person. Because, that's your last shot. Honestly. As you progress into age, that is your last opportunity. Where's Sister Stephanie? Okay, all right, yeah. I just look, we got regulars around here, so I don't see. Yeah, I'm looking over here. I'm like, hold on, it's a chair missing. Y'all done left a chair out for Sister Stephanie. That's all right. All right, First John, chapter 2, and let's pick this up at verse 3. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandment.
All right, go ahead.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandment, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Mm-hmm.
But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abide in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walks.
So the Lord is telling you, like, if you're supposed to be in him, it's a certain type of manner of action you should display. You need to be walking like he walked. And this ain't easy to do, especially when you're dealing with people. That's why I like that little thing, WWJD. Like, what would Jesus do? Because it's a good way to see. Look, what we're doing is we're programming our mind to think a certain way so that it functions a certain way. And then what you do with a computer, you program something, then when something happens, or you input something, then something come back out. That's what you're doing to your mind. You know what I'm saying? So that when your reactions become automatic the right action. Because normally they're automatically the wrong. You know, like if somebody hits you, immediately your first thought is to hit them back, right? The book did say turn the other cheek, though. You know what I'm saying? But immediately, though, like immediately if somebody did you wrong, your first thought is revenge, ain't it? But we just saw the Lord said that vengeance belonged to him. But these things aren't what is programmed by what society has put into us, the world, peer pressure, traditions, whatever. So the way that you overcome these things is by constantly reminding yourselves and challenging yourselves in these situations that this is what you're supposed to do, even though it hurts, even though it's hard. All right? So here he says, but brethren, I write no, verse 7, no new commandment unto you, an old commandment which ye have had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. Verse 8, go ahead.
Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you. Because the darkness is past, and the true light now shineth. He that saith he is in the light.
So this is what he didn't say he in the truth. That's the light. The truth, the light, I can prove that to you. He that said he is in the truth is what? Go ahead.
And hateth his brother.
But you hate your brother. Go ahead.
Is in darkness.
You ain't in the truth. That's the determining factor, brothers and sisters. Not if you kept a Sabbath day. The determining factor is how you treat your brother. Go ahead.
He that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth.
You know why he don't know where he's going? Because he's thinking that I've been keeping the Sabbath day, so I'm good. But you hate your brother, and you in darkness and don't know. Or your sister. Go ahead.
Because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Right, because that hatred got you blind. You can't even examine yourself. Keep reading.
I write unto you, little children, because your sins are forgiven.
He said, I'm showing you all this because the Lord done forgave you of your sins. Like you good. But if you can't figure out how to love, man, that's a major problem. Let's go, where do we finish off on our paper? We did Luke 17?
Yes.
I don't think we did that. Yeah, let's go to Luke 17. Because we about to start moving toward contentment. Once we hit once we hit Timothy in Hebrew. Luke 17. Luke chapter 17, we're going to pick him up at verse 1. Luke 17 and 1.
Then
Go ahead.
Then said he unto the disciples, it is impossible, but that offense will come.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, we gonna bother one another. I'm just gonna, me and Raquel, now we've been together over 20 years. She's going to get on my nerves. You know what I mean? Like that's what's gonna happen. All right. Go ahead.
But woe unto him through
What you
whom
saying? I'm
they
gonna get on
come.
her. I don't get on her nerves. Look, man, she ain't in here right now, huh? I am husband number one. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm probably on her. I'm probably on her nerves far more than she's on mine. Yeah, but we ain't talking about that. No, but we get to the point because what I'm getting at is that when two people together, that's just gonna happen. That's really the point that I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like sisters and brothers. I sit there and I watch even the babies be popping each other across the head. You know, I mean, it'd be crazy. So it's going to happen when you're around. So what Jesus is saying, it is impossible, but that offenses will come. People are going to do things to bother you. You just need to get that into your mind. They ain't you. That's the point. People ain't you. All right? But then he says, but woe unto him through whom they came. Go ahead, verse 2.
It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him.
So if somebody do something to rebuke them, tell them. Open up your mouth. Don't be scared. Don't also be like, forget it. I don't have to deal with them no more. Yo, that's the real easy way right there. But that's the way. Like, I know people cut you off in a minute, and they ain't gonna, They'll never see you again in your. And it's funny too, because I've even still done people like that. Like I ain't never got to talk to you another day in my life. You know what I mean? And just keep it moving. But he telling you something. Take heed to yourself. If your brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And then what happens next?
And if he repent, forgive him.
This is what he's telling you. If he repent, you forgive him. Not judge the matter and feel like their repentance ain't adequate for what you felt the crime was. You know, that's how we begin. Like you be all mad, caught up, you be vaunting yourself. That's what you be doing. You don't be having charity. You know, your husband and your wife done apologize to you already, and now you extra mad because they did what they did, and it was so detrimental in your mind. Even though both of y'all still breathing. Just something to think about, though. Keep reading. This says the principle. I know, right? All that again is we putting ourselves higher than what principle you got. You ain't nothing. You need love and mercy too. Keep reading, though.
And if he trespass against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turn again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him.
Man, so you wanted that. If they just keep doing the same dumb stuff, the Lord is still saying, and they repent, then you forgive them. They might have some issues, and if they keep stealing your car, I would advise you to find somewhere else to put your car, or make sure they can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you that you repent and be dumb. You know, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the problem is you keep throwing water on my face, then next time I walk into the room, I'll have an umbrella and a raincoat. You know what I'm saying? Like, use some common sense, brothers and sisters. Like, don't be stupid. But still, I'm going to forgive you, though, Josh. Every time you come to my house, you eat up all my candy. So next time you come, it's going to be fruit there. So you can eat that. You know what I'm saying? But you apologize. I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to forgive you. Right. He got his hand back in the peppermint jar. All right. Next time, put a little X-Lax in there. See how you like that? What verse are we at?
Verse 5.
All right, let's go over to Matthew now. Matthew chapter 18. Matthew chapter 18. In all seriousness, though, brothers and sisters, this is extremely serious. This is far more important than is he circumcised? Shall I take the Passover or not? Or can I be baptized in Passover and all? You know, all the tight, deep stuff. You know, should I put some fringes on or off? You know, all the deep stuff that we get into. This is far more important. I don't care if you got on fringes or not. If you can't figure out how to love me, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You going to hell with your fringes on. You're going to be in the leg of fire dancing with some beautiful garments, hollering Yahshua. So, you know what I mean? You know, none of that important if you can't figure out how you deal with one another and how to let it go. Again, remember, charity don't vaunt itself up. See, I understand teaching. I know if you keep repeating something that it'll plant itself in your head. That's why I keep telling you that. Because charity is the opposite of how you feel about it. You know, how you feel about it is your way. Remember, there's a way that seems right into man, but the ends thereof is the ways of death, though. So it ain't about how you think about it. It's not, I'm sorry. It's about what this book tells us. How the Lord think about it. We trying to put that mind on. That's what it's saying in Philippians 2. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. He was obedient unto death. And we talking about a God. Matthew chapter 18, let's pick him up at verse 15. When you get there, go ahead.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Right.
But if he will not hear thee, then take thee one or two more, that in the mouth of the two or these witness every word may be established.
So now we getting rules. So like, you know, if Sister Mildred did something, I got an issue with it. I take it to Sister Mildred. I don't tell Brother Jackson. Because trying to see if this Mildred did the same thing to you, Jackson. That's how we be, you know what I'm saying? Or you know that the same thing done happened. So now I'm trying to get a committee of people to make Sister Mildred feel a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So that we can beat Sister Mildred. So we can beat her into submission. That's what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. It said you take that issue. I got a problem with you, Mildred. I take it to you. All right? Now, again, moreover, if thy brother trespass against thee, now we already read, it's going to happen. then I go tell him his fault between me and them. And if he hear you, then you didn't get. So if you really was wrong, Mildred, or if I really was wrong, and then once we apologize, like we done gained something between the two of us. That's what happens. Like it's gonna strengthen what we had beforehand. All right. But then he said, but if he don't hear you, then take with you the one or two witnesses. Now, okay, Sister Mildred, you got a problem with something I did. You came and addressed it to me. Nah, you don't go to Dennis and say, Dennis. So I had a problem with JD, and I said it to him, and he had did this, that, and the other, right? And don't you think that's wrong? And then, oh, okay, yeah, so let's go talk to him. Like, no, that's not how that operates. Now, it says here, but if he would not hear thee, then take to thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. Meaning, so now, Sister Mildred, you're going to come back to me again. This time, we're going to have Chris and Dennis to judge the matter. You know what I'm saying? To put their 2 cents in on it, based off our argument. Because, hey, it might just very well be, Sister Mildred, you tripping. I don't know what you're talking about. Or maybe I'm dead wrong and I don't see it. So now you got 2 witnesses who, by the way, you just grabbed them. Brother Dennis, I need you to bear witness to something between me and Mildred. That's it. Not, Brother Dennis, I don't be. So what happened? See, immediately, you know what happened? We can't use you, bro. You ain't on the jury now. You know what I'm saying? We got to go get in that shine or something now. You know what I'm saying? But this is how this works. Because, a lot of times we try to apply this Matthew 18 and we act like the way it works is, I go, after I told Mildred, so I'm going to go tell Brother Chris, like, look, Brother Chris, I had talked to Mildred because, she had told me I couldn't use her car. You know what I'm saying? But don't you think I should, like, she don't even drive. But when she want me to use her car to go get her some groceries, it's all good. I just want to go to the club tonight. She now, come, yeah, you right, bro. All right, so next thing you know, now he come, like I told him the whole, you didn't even know, the last time that I used it, I didn't put no gas in it. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, my license is suspended. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like we ain't even, because I'm giving you my side of the story. That ain't how it work, y'all. So I bring Chris in. Now Chris can hear the whole matter. Okay, now what happens? Verse 18. Or 17.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
Uh-huh.
But if you neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
So once we done dealt with the issue, and now, Sister Mildred brought Chris to talk to me, and I still don't want to hear it. Now, when we start talking to church, look, we not about to come in here on a Sabbath day with an issue board. You know what I'm saying? But we got elders. We got, we have people established that you do that with. You take it to them. Might not just be one. I can tell you right now, it's more than one, even around here. Y'all might just don't know who they are, because we don't have problems around here, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? We cool. We figure it out. We have. Ever since I've been here, almost 3 years I've been here, 2.5, we figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a problem like that, because the next move is, verily I say unto you, he say, and if he neglect to hear them, tell them to the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man or a publican. It did not say kick him out. I just want you to understand that. We can control this. It said, but when it said be a heathen man or a publican, like, look, we ain't messing with you until you get your stuff straight. All of us know. Or like the last situation we had go down, look, you can come, but we're going to have a babysitter with you. But you talking foolish everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's being treated like a heathen or a publican. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how that works. All right? Go ahead, verse 18.
Verily I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Right, so what you established here, he's saying the Lord is recognizing that. So if that's how it go down, the Lord is paying that. Mildred brought it, and I'm dead wrong, and I don't want to pay it no mind. And then you brought Chris, and then you brought it to Chris. Like the Lord, whatever you say, whatever you sanction now as the body of the church, the Lord is recognizing that now. That is the rule. That's why heretics don't have a part into the kingdom. A heretic is somebody who done kicked against the rules. So that's all book we talking. And the Lord say, verily I say unto you, whatsoever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Go ahead.
And whatsoever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Keep reading.
Again I say unto you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
Go ahead.
For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them.
So that scripture wasn't about the Sabbath, by the way. You know, we be trying to say, well, 2 or 3, we can keep the Sabbath, hold the holy convocation. No, holy convocation is when you call to a summons. Like this sister here, she say, well, I'm coming in town. She like, hey, I'm finna make sure I find where the church is. You know what I'm saying? Where is that? Because I'm called to be there every Sabbath day. But this 2 or 3, what he talking about is when we making decisions. That's what this is talking about. Not because we be trying to use this. Like this talking this, we ain't talked about the Sabbath nowhere in this chapter. All of a sudden we be doing that with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Book ain't all, they ain't been talking about nothing. Then all of a sudden, oh yeah, this means with 2 or 3 or more. That ain't what that's talking about there. That's talking about in this decision that was made based off of having some issues with one another. Verse 21, keep reading. You ain't got lost. Verse 21. Matthew, we still in 18. Matthew 18, 21.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants.
So now he going to run into a parable. Y'all know I love parables. So he said the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king that would take an account of his kingdom. Like he paying attention and he judging throughout his kingdom, right? Go ahead.
Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife, and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made.
That's a rough action. So when the Lord came to him and he was like, look, what, this is what you owe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got it, but we're going to sell all of you, everything you got, till payment is made. I need mine. Go ahead.
Then the servant before fell down and worshiped him, saying,
so
Lord.
now you like, hey, man, you know how it go. Put yourself in the mind of Kuta Kente. He started begging for his daughter to do like, Master, please don't sell my baby. Keep reading.
Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Lord of the servant who was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him his debt.
So he not only said he asking he pay it off, he said he had compassion and forgave the debt. So he wiped it. So he didn't say because he was saying, because you know how we do, like, Lord, please, if you get me out of this, I'll do this. He was like, look, no, we just even. Don't even worry about it since you begging about it. Go ahead.
But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants.
So after you've been even, after the Lord done forgave you and cleared your slate, so now you done went out and found somebody else, right? Go ahead.
Which owed him 100 pence.
You ain't owed him not even half the amount that you owe, not even a quarter of what you owe the Lord, really. Go ahead.
And he laid hands on him.
But you require yours. Keep reading.
And took him by the throat, saying, pay me that thou owest.
Mm-hmm.
And his fellow servant fell down at his feet, and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison, till he should pay thee the debt.
Now how you gonna pay you in jail? I've been trying to figure that out for the longest. They be putting these folks in jail for child support. I'm like, man, you ain't doing nothing but make more child support. Like, how they gonna pay locked up? But that's what he did. So you was being mercifulest and more mercifulest. Go ahead.
So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done.
So yeah, the other folks knew that because they knew the Lord had forgave you with everything. Go ahead.
Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desired me. Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee?
Go ahead.
And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you.
He had forgave him the debt, right? But then when he saw that you couldn't forgive, he said, well, sure, I'm going to send you to the tormentors and you're going to pay me what. But the point is, you ain't going to be able to pay. That's what he's getting at. So, again, he's trying to show you, so likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you. Go ahead.
If ye from your hearts forgive not everyone his brother their trespasses.
And that's the parable that he used to get us to see that. Let's go to Galatians chapter 6. Galatians chapter 6. So look, when it's all said and done, man, we got to learn how to let it go. You require way too much of people. Like I expect you to. You know what I mean? Like I expect you to be sorry and to act a certain way. And like now when they don't want to do that, all of a sudden, you the judge and jury, like they should get this then. All right, God. That's what you playing. Said he that judges his neighbor judges the law. Like, you don't want to be that. Galatians chapter 6, let's pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such and one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye none another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
For if a man that think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is. All
right, that's good. Let's go over to Hebrews chapter 13. So that's like pretty much the first half right there. We're finishing it right there. We're moving to the next. All right. So the first half is salvation come with love and contentment. So that was the love. Now we're about to approach the contentment. All right. You know, just because that's going to like if you can have contentment, that solidifies everything. You know what I'm saying? That puts you in the place where it ain't a problem. See, you ain't content. That's why you always got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You ain't satisfied. You know, that's what contentment is about. All right? If you can master these two gifts, love and contentment, you're good. The problem is we can't be content. And the reason we can't be content is because the world has designed itself to covet. And you being in the world are part of that system, and it has been fabricated into you, and now that's what you want to do. You want more. You make $10,000, you want to make $20,000. I said last night I need another bedroom. That's what I said when I'm living good, but still, I walked in one room, everybody was on my spot. Yeah, everybody was there. I'm like, man, I need another room, man. This ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But still, though, and you could. Hey, look, I'm not trying to tell you don't have no desire to go out here and work. You work, get something. That's cool. You know, but I'm saying at the same time, though, at what sacrifice? Like my daddy told me, don't work 2 jobs no more. That's what my daddy told me. And he told me, and don't go to that plasma bank no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing too much. That's right, right. Yeah, that's what I was, look, man, I had just had Micaiah, I was buying diapers and paying cell phone bill. Easy. Yeah, I mean, I was doing what I had to do. And my daddy said, nah, bro, don't do that. He began to explain some, you know, he put it in another perspective. First of all, he said, that's a junkie move. I said, but Daddy, I don't use dope. I don't care. That's a junkie move. I was like, look here, man. But the point is, you got to learn some level of contentment, though. You know what I'm saying? Hebrews chapter 13, let's pick it up at verse 5 and 6. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Let your conversation be without covetousness.
Without covetousness.
Oh.
So that's rule number 1. Let your... Hey, we are Israel Church Jesus Learning Center. So we all learning, right? This is where the teachers learn. This is where the readers learn too. But let your conversation will be without covetousness. Like that's what he showing you here. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, if you can get the covetousness out of your conversation, all your desires out of your conversation, but you got to remember when you read in Matthew chapter 15, it say what come out of your mouth is what come in your mouth from your mind. That's how you defile a man. You know, if you don't recall, it's Matthew chapter 15. So what he said, if it's coming out, if your conversation be without covenant, that means you got to get it out your head. That's the objective. All right? Covetousness is the most difficult commandment to conquer, comprehend, and see and understand. Look, if you a thief, I see it. Every time you come, it's gone. All right, you stole. It's easy to see. If you commit adultery, you know what I'm saying? If you're a killer, you know what I'm saying? But covetousness. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all up in here. And it's hard. I can't see that Chris is coveting. I can hear it, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's saying. Let your conversation be without covetousness. Go ahead.
And be content with such things as ye have.
You see what he's saying? And be content with what you got. Go ahead.
For he have said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee.
Right, because the Lord ain't going to forsake you anyway. He got you. Keep reading. Or did we, keep reading.
So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
You see what contentment, what you able to say when you are content. You able to say the Lord did this, not me. You know what I'm saying? See, that be the big problem. You prayed for the job, you got the job. Ooh, the Lord blessed me with this job. 10 years later, man, I'm out here working my butt off for all of it. I thought the Lord was doing this for you. I thought the Lord was your provider. You forget, though. You forget once you was begging this man. Then once you get the job, you tell him, man, the Lord blessed me, gave me a job. But then all of a sudden, after you get it, so you forget that. That's why in Proverbs chapter 30, he say, look, don't make me poor lest I steal and take your name in vain. But don't give me too much where I forget you. You know what I'm saying? Because now all of a sudden, this all I did. Look what I done did. That's why when you look at the rich, you know, the richest woman I know is Oprah. I don't know her, but that's the richest woman I know of. And her mindset of what God is horrible. And it's the saddest thing, because out of all black people that I ever meet, she's one of the most influential. She got the worst perspective of God. I mean, the worst. Out of all I would just rather you was dang atheist than for her to be what she is. So, but I'm saying that's what happened. Basically, she don't need God. She take care of herself, don't she? She came up. You know what Oprah philosophy is? Where was God when I was getting raped at 14? That's really what her philosophy is. So I conquered all of this. I didn't need no God, and look how far I got myself. But I mean, it was by time and chance you ain't have some throat disease where you can't run off at the mouth like that. That happens to people. Or that you didn't get into no accident, from somebody else drinking and driving. All that stuff happens. Yeah. So let's go over here to 1 Timothy chapter 6. And what happened to you happens in the devil's world. That's the world we in. We're in the devil's world. So I'm sorry that somebody raped you at that age. And I'm not saying that it should happen. I'm saying that, stuff is the devil's world. And when it's his world, things evil happen in it, and they affect you one way or the other. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6 and then verse 8. Go ahead.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
The Bible is telling you godliness and contentment is great gain. Not money. Great gain is contentment. Verse 8.
And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
And he's saying, and so learn to be content with food and raiment. Some clothes on your back and something. It didn't even say be content with a new car, did it? Or an old car. Or a new house. Or a shack. Yeah. Oh, I learned that, though. Because they was very content. And I'm not saying if you're homeless, stay there. I'm just saying because and the funny thing about the homeless, when you get out there and you really deal with them and talk to them, first of all, they ain't stupid, and that ain't why they there. Life is how they got there. You remember that. You ain't better than them. You ain't smarter than them. You just lucky. Time and chance happened to them all. You could have been there just like that. You know what I mean? Well, I put up the walls to make sure. No. Look here, man. When this world walls come down, it don't matter how hard you try to protect what you are and what you got. Stuff happens. Yeah, like life happens. Period. Point blank. Okay, so you keep that in mind when you talk to somebody who you feel like in the worst state than you feel like. Because really, you judging with your eyes anyway. So where are we at? Numbers, chapter 11. Huh? Yeah. We just read that one. Did I read verse 8? And having food. Yeah. So now we're going to go to Numbers, chapter 11. Numbers, chapter 11. We're almost done here. Numbers, chapter 11. But look, I just want us to understand these are two pillars of your salvation. Like, keeping the Sabbath is very important. You know what I mean? Ultimately, like the Lord is saying, like, had we just kept the Sabbath, we could have stayed in Israel. So it's very important. But if you keep the Sabbath and you hate everybody here, you know what I mean? You've killed the importance. Yeah. I mean, so you have got to master that within yourself. But people be like that. You know what I'm saying? Just got a problem with everything somebody do. I'm like, dang, you make it to where don't nobody want to be around you now. Because all you do is fuss, complain, and moan. Right. Numbers chapter 11, pick it up at verse 1. And when you get there, go ahead.
And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it. And his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them, and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses. And when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched.
Go ahead.
And he called the name of the place Tabera, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them.
Go ahead.
And the mixed multitude that was among them fell as lusting.
Yeah, so the people, everybody that was amongst them, Gentile and Israelites, they start lusting. Just want, and this ain't necessarily, we start thinking of lusting. You think of man and woman. No, they just start wanting stuff. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat?
Yeah, they want food now. They want to eat better. Go ahead.
We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic.
So here's what I want to say about this statement. Y'all remember how y'all was eating in Egypt, huh? Where you was a slave at. You remember how you was eating where it was rigorous workload there. That's what when you was doomed to serve by serving their God. See, we do this to ourselves. Before we got in the Word, I had this, that. It was before you got in the Word. You was on a one-way path to hell. Yeah, but you want to sit here and say how much life was better before you started keeping it. Look, life was better because you was self-checked. Satan didn't have to worry about you. You was doing what he had you doing. Now you in the Word, so he trying to make this as difficult as possible, and you falling for it. That's the difference. But he says, verse 4, and the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, who should give us flesh to eat? We remember the flesh we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers, melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. Go ahead, verse 6.
But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes.
Man, the Lord was giving them food from heaven. He don't even do that for nobody. And you want to sit here and be like, you rather pick the garlics and the, you know what I'm saying? Look here, man, you better learn how to turn manna into steak and call it a day. But see, if it was me in my world, I'm the ramen noodle dude. I'm the dude that can take some ramen noodle and make a full course, meal out that joint. I'll be to put some hot sauce, the Doritos, some meat in there, some peas, whatever. They say, you like, dang, what's this? I'm like, yeah, this JD's Cuisines, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm sitting here, we gonna make this work. I'm not gonna complain about what I got to eat. I'm just gonna tell you that I'm gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we do though. We gonna complain about any and everything. And so verse 7, go ahead.
And the manna was Coradin. Coradin seed.
Go ahead.
And the color thereof as the color of bdellium.
Go ahead.
And the people went about and gathered it and ground it in mills and beat it in.
Or they beat it. So we had some options we could have did with this. See, I would have been good. Keep reading though.
And beat it in mortar and baked it in pans
Mm-hmm.
and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil.
Yeah, we just would have made it taste like some sweet fresh oil sometime. We would have made some moves with it, but I wouldn't have been tripping. But go ahead.
And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it.
Because I ain't even got to do nothing to get this. I'm getting free food. I'm good. We gonna look. Y'all remember that welfare cheese? I remember that big block of cheese they used to give her. That cheese made the greatest everything. Made the greatest grilled cheese sandwiches. Made the greatest macaroni and cheese. It made whatever you needed that cheese for. It was great. You know, whether we shred it, cut it. Heck, it was so good. Sometimes you just go in there and sneak you a piece. Sometimes you just go, you grab the knife and just cut a little piece, and you walking around the house eating a slab of cheese. Right? We gonna work. We gonna make it work. It's free too. Keep reading.
Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased.
Right.
And Moses said unto the Lord, Wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me?
Yeah, Moses was like, man, why you give me these folks, man? These folks getting on my nerve. They always complaining. Look, God don't want to hear all your complaints. Go ahead, keep reading.
I have conceived all this people, and have begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me.
And let me clarify that. It's not because he don't want to hear your problem. It's because you ain't learned to be content. Like, you know, look, we going to complain if we back and forth to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? We going to complain if we ain't got no food. I ain't going to complain because I can't get a new suit to go to this wedding, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to complain about that because I can't, you know, because I got to keep getting my car fixed. It's running, but I got to keep getting it fixed. But I'm not going to complain about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just telling you. Me personally, I'm not the person that's going to complain because I'm understanding the Lord wants me to learn how to be content. So whatever situation I find myself in, then I got to just deal with it. It's going to build some character. So if it means that I'm walking, pushing 3 kids in the stroller to the grocery store, and I'm coming back, bagging up the stroller, that's what I'm going to do. Till the Lord see fit to give me my free van. And that's what happened. Just like that. But I wasn't complaining crossing town all the way to the other side of town or getting to church on the bus. You know what I'm saying? With 2, 3 kids. This was me. I wasn't complaining, though. I was happy to do it. The Lord saw that and was like, I got you. One day somebody called me, come get your van. Huh? Free van. Real story. Why? Because it's the real story. So as I'm saying, when you can learn to humble yourself and let the Lord take care of you, it happens. But if you want to complain about everything, he's gonna be like, man, I ain't got time to look out for you because it ain't gonna be enough anyway. It ain't like you're gonna be able to use that as some story or testimony. It's just gonna be another piece of not enough. What verse are we at?
Middle of 12.
Go ahead.
Carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the suckling child, unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers.
So he's talking about how he had these people. But go ahead.
Whence should I have flesh to give upon all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, Give us flesh, that we may eat. I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me.
Keep going.
And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand. If I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness.
All right, that's good. Well, no, let's read a little more. I'm gonna show you how this complaining is looked at from God and what he ended up doing. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people.
So Moses was having it rough. So the Lord was like, "Look, I'm gonna get you some help. I'm gonna get you some old brothers. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna help you out." But then let's skip down to verse 18. For all this complaining these people did. Go ahead.
And say thou unto the people, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, Who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt, therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and you shall eat.
So the Lord like, all right, so you want some, I'm going to give it to you. That's what he's telling him. So he's like, oh, so you want some flesh to eat? All right, I got you. Go ahead.
You shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days.
You know, when the Lord winding this up right here, automatically, I'm probably going to be like, look here, man, we good. That's okay. I'm good. This don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? You had us eat one way at first, and now you say, oh, no, I'm going to give you something to eat. I'm going to give you not enough for 1 day, not enough for 2 days. Oh, man, see, that sounds scary already. Go ahead.
But even a whole month.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to feed you for a month, right? Go ahead.
Until it come out at your nostrils.
Right, he's like, I'm going to give it to you so much it's going to be coming out your nose. That means he was so pissed. He's like, I'm gonna get to you when you don't want it no more. Keep reading.
And it become loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying,
That's
why
good.
came we forth out of Egypt?
Because the moral is, when you doing all this complaining, really what you're saying to the Lord is what he gave you ain't enough. That's really what you're saying, that this ain't good enough, God, but God gave it to you. So at any rate, that's what all that complaining is. Let's go over to Ecclesiastes now. We're going to look at some Solomon as we wrap this up. Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Ecclesiastes chapter 2. And we're going to pick him up at verse 4. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 4. Salvation comes with love and contentment. These are two key things that we must add to our repertoire if we are trying to obtain our salvation. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and let's pick them up in verse 4. When you get there, go ahead and read.
I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and planted trees in them of all kinds of fruit. I made me pools of water, to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had born servants. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle.
But Solomon, he's telling like, man, look, I done had it all. That's basically what he's telling you right here. I done had it all. Keep reading.
Above all that were in Jerusalem before me.
Mm-hmm.
I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of all the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, and musicians, instruments, and that of all sorts.
Uh-huh.
So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor.
Go ahead.
Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit.
So he said, I went and got everything, and when it's all said and done, what I saw, it was all vanity. It wasn't nothing. That's what you're going to realize, that as much as you put into what you want in this life, when you walk out of here, you ain't taking none of it with you, really. Like I'm saying, for the nicest pair of shoes you got, or the car you drive, or the house that you, like, and I think about different individuals, myself included, and some of the things that we achieve. But I'm like, man, when you bury me, you're going to bury me. I rode by the grave place the other day. And as I was riding by, I was thinking about, because one of them was open, I was like, damn, I wonder what happened if I could just go in and just go open up every tombstone. Like, would I be rich when I was done? Look, my brain weird. So I was just wondering this. You know, so I'm riding by, I'm like, would I be rich? Like, I wonder what these people like. Do they got watches? Do they got? I'm like, man. Then I start thinking about, but like, it would just be like dust. Like, what would the clothes smell like? Would the clothes, would the clothes be? Then you know, I mean, I'm like, my brain there. I'm like, I bet it's all years types of suits and dresses and outfits and you know what I'm saying? Like all kind of stuff is in there on dirt. Like that's what's there. When you ride past the cemetery, is like when you look at these old headstones and stuff, what's down up under there, it's just still, it's a box with a piece of clothing and some dirt. Like dirt, like these people are gone. Like when I say they're gone, I'm saying like that piece of dirt is what they have become. From dust you are to dust you shall return. So it's all vanity what you get here. You know what I'm saying? And so I've learned that ultimately, like when I think about my daddy done died. So my daddy's gone, and now his stuff is starting to go. You know, when I say his stuff, like he left us some stuff. And it's slowly, like as through the course of time, just like that lady who said she had that picture for 30-something years. Like it all go in a minute. You know what I'm saying? The lady was mad. She's throwing her picture away. You know what I'm saying? This was my mama's. I got it. It was in your mama's living room or whatever. It was the big picture, and now it's destroyed. Like that's what happens to everything in this life. But you know what stay here? Your reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like the legacy that you left, the person that you was. When I think of Brother Wayne, he one of our teachers here, I don't remember what clothes he wore. Actually, I kind of do because he did wear it. But when it's all said and done, I'm not going to really remember what he wore. You know, so definitely don't remember what he drove. I don't remember his sneakers. I just remember his humble and his meek spirit. That's what I remember about Brother Wayne. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's what, when it's all said and done, the things that people went out and achieved in that level, you know, what they got, that ain't nothing. And that's what Solomon telling them. Go ahead, what verse?
To the end of 11.
Keep going.
And there was no prophet under the sun.
Uh-huh.
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Mm-hmm. Even that which have been already done. Then I saw the wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness.
So he like, man, wisdom is the folly, like light is the darkness. Go ahead, keep reading.
The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceive also that one event.
So he said, through all this, he learned that the wise man, he going to be able to see where he going, and fools just be walking and bumping. Error on top of error. That's what he got out of everything that he began to achieve. That's what he learned. I need wisdom. All right, go ahead.
And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all.
He said, but one thing happened to everybody. Keep going.
Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me.
Uh-huh.
And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this is also vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that
that's good. Let's go now. That was verse 18, right? All right, let's go. Oh, you was at 16? Yeah. Oh, then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so happened even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, this is vanity, for there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool. Meaning they all die. Look, it don't matter what you get and how smart or how dumb. When you take that last breath, it's going to all be the same. It's the last breath. But go ahead, verse 18. 17.
Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all this vanity and vexation.
So when he was done, he hated life. When he saw, he was like, cuz the work that's done is grievous. You out here, you working, but really for what? Keep reading.
Yeah, I hated all my labor.
That's good. Let's go to chapter 5 now. Chapter 5, Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Again, we're looking at the contentment part. So when you get from Solomon, it really don't matter as much as all you go out here to get and do. What you going to get in it? What is it at the end of the day? You going to die just like the next man. That's what's going to happen. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Let's pick him up at verse 8. When you get there, go ahead.
If thou seest the oppression of the poor, violent perverting of judgment, and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they.
Right, so he said, like, these ain't, when you feel like how we got poor people, and we like, we got all these rich people, and then you got poor people. And, you know, he's like, don't marvel at it. Like, don't be amazed that it's taking place. He said, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth it, and there be higher than they, like higher than the ones that's oppressing them. They like, so it's somebody above all that. Keep reading though.
Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field.
He said, because when it's all said and done, the profit of what the earth is providing is for everybody. It comes from the earth. You know how people talking about, like, you got human rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like that. You do got, everybody should be able to eat off the grass of the field. That came in Genesis. Now, just because you king and you poor don't mean I should have, better vegetables than you. They all come from the same place. We getting that. But go ahead.
He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver.
So notice something. You love whatever it is you want, your satisfaction is not going to come when you receive it. Just know that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're going to have a closet full of stuff you ain't never wore. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to have, like I used to collect baseball cards and football cards and all that. And after a while, it got to the point where I'm getting the same person card 2-3 times over. I'm like, well, dang. It was like I was, but I'm steady going to get more though. It's like I just was never gonna be satisfied. Period. Point blank. Like you just not. Whatever it is you do, there is no satisfaction in it. Go ahead.
Nor he that loveth abundance with increase.
Uh-huh.
This is also vanity.
Go ahead.
When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saying the beholding of them with their eyes?
All right. Go ahead.
The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much. But the abundance of rich will not suffer him to sleep.
So right, like if you go out here and you grind hard, whether you get a lot, whether you eating a lot or not, your sleep gonna be good. You're gonna be happy and satisfied. But the rich, you just got problems. That's what he getting at. He says the sleep of the laborer man is sweet, whether he eat little or much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer. He can't even get sleep. Laborer man gonna get it, but this dude not even gonna get sleep because he got problems to deal with. Verse 13.
There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept from the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall be nothing of his labor, which he
may carry away in his hand. So it's just saying what you left here with, what you got here is what you're going home with. Nothing. Yeah, exactly. The Egyptians put all that stuff. That's what we need to rob. We rob one of them tombs. They done already robbed them, huh? Yeah, they beat us too. Dang. Go ahead, keep reading.
And this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit have he that have labor for the wind? All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he have much sorrow and wrath in his sickness. Behold that which I have seen. It is good and comely for one to eat and drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion.
Right. So he said, look, it's good that you eat and drink and enjoy the good of your labor. We're not saying don't get nothing. Enjoy what you got. Just keep it in its perspective. Go ahead.
Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof.
Every man also to whom God hath given him riches. Go ahead.
And to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart.
That's right. Let's go now to let's keep it going to the next chapter. We're going to read all of this chapter. Ecclesiastes chapter 6. Go ahead. And this is, again, us trying to understand and learn contentment. All right? It's only a mentality. For you to be content, it's a way of thinking. And you have to program yourself to think that way. Like most people who talk to me, you would know. You ask me how I'm doing, I ain't complaining. I'm good. These are whatever you hear me say, this is the way that I have discovered to program my way of thinking so that I'm cool. Like I'm straight. I don't have to be in a better place than I'm at right now. I'm good. Now, does that mean that I don't have the willpower or desire to achieve more? Sure. But at the same time, it keeps everything in its proper perspective. That look, it ain't that important. It ain't that serious. All right? Ecclesiastes chapter 6. Go ahead.
There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul of all that he desireth, yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. Many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial. I say that an untimely birth is better than he.
Go ahead.
For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness.
Go ahead.
Moreover, he have not seen the sun, nor known anything. This have more rest than the other.
Go ahead.
Yea, though he live 1,000 years, twice told, yet have he seen no good. Do not all go to one place.
Right. So he's just saying, like, look. He said, "A man to whom God," I'm in verse 2, "God has given riches and wealth and honor, so that he wanted nothing for his soul. And all that he desired, yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof. Then, like, but to a stranger, like, that's the thing. So, you know, like, and it's funny, too, like, I think about my man Kobe, right? Like, you accumulated, you know, $500 million plus. And you ain't even gonna get to spend it. Like, you might as well have just went, but not, now, you know, I know he got children, so I guess they get to get it, but you might as well have, you ain't gonna get to spend it. You ain't gonna get to enjoy all of it, just a piece. And I just think about, and he ain't the only one, you know, so I just use him as an example, because I really wasn't thinking about it like that. Like, you don't even know what's gonna happen to it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, your empire that you built, it ain't even yours no more. Then he says, you know, verse 3 says, "If a man beget 100 children, live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good," like, it means nothing. He was like, if his soul not be good, he's like, man, it would have been better. He said, and also that he have no bearable. I say unto you, an untimely birth is better than he. Like, somebody we ain't want to be born is better than this guy. You know, like, that's not good. He says, when he cometh in with vanity, you depart in darkness. Like, because there wasn't no good in it. Like, you ain't trying to leave this place like this. His name should be covered with darkness. Moreover, we have not seen the sun nor known anything. This have no more rest than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years, twice told, yet have seen no good. Do not all go to the same place. Like he's telling you, like, when it's all said and done, we all go to the grave when it's all said. Verse 7.
All the labor of man is for his mouth,
Uh-huh.
and yet the appetite is not filled.
Right. Like, everything you work for is for you to go get something, but yet you ain't never going to get enough. So he's trying to explain to you it's just a cycle that you're going to be in. Not that you're not going to be in, though. It's just explaining to you the cycle that you're in. You're just going to keep working, and it's never going to be enough. Because you got to understand that at some point in your mentality, you have to say, I'm cool. Doesn't mean not to don't get up the next morning. Just, I'm cool. I'm good. Like, this is good. Everything is, my 3-bedroom apartment is cool with the flowers on the back deck. You know what I mean? Like it's like at some point you have to have a level of contentment. Go, keep reading though.
For what have the wise more than the fool? What have the poor that knoweth to walk before the living?
Uh-huh.
Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit.
Go ahead.
That which have been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
Uh-huh.
Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he.
Go ahead.
Seeing there be many things that increase vanity. What is man the better?
Go ahead.
For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his vain life which he hath spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun?
Yeah, that's scary. Like, who gonna tell you what's next after you gone? Like, what's gonna happen next? Can't even tell you when you gonna go, really. You know what I'm saying? So he's just trying to explain to you, like, look, man, you can go get all of what you get, but it's all just vanity. When you gone, you gone. And it's just like, man, I think about Bill Cosby. Like, I mean, you was about to buy NBC. That's way major. Now you just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like this all just happens. So it's just really all vanity. Like, you went and did all this stuff on TV. You try to become something, but like when it's all said and done, like look where you are right now, cracking jokes in prison. I mean, I'm not saying he deserved to be there. None of that. I'm saying that's where you are. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like we none of that. Like, time and chance happen to everybody. So it ain't about deserving. It's just where you are. So then everything else, which is all vanity. That's what it was. All right, now let's go chapter 12. Luke chapter 12. Yeah, Luke chapter 12. We're almost done here. Luke chapter 12. So you set out, try to make your name great, try to be something great. And then, that's what I learned about, like, even stuff. Like, I be looking through my stuff, I be like, man, what's the point? Like, you got this, like, what? I mean, eventually, what you wear 3-4 times, maybe, and eventually it's just going to be gone. It's going to sit here, it's going to get old. Why you can't get rid of this, man? You know what I mean? Like, that's really the thought sometimes. Or I remember when I bought a TV. I bought a nice TV finally for my dining room, right? Finally, right? And then Danny goes and take the pool stick, bang the TV out. So all this that I went and bought this nice TV, because they don't. That's one thing about these TVs, they don't fix them. Go buy another one. But I'm saying it was like all that. I remember when I bought it. Elijah was here in town, matter of fact, when I bought it. You know what I'm saying? Or he here when I bought the second one, and my mom. No, yeah, he was here when I bought the second. My mama was here. That's who was here when I bought the first one. And it was like, yo, look, you know what I'm saying? This is the biggest TV I done got. You know what I'm saying? I put it up. I finally hung up one on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like all that meant something. It was like, yo, it's so dope. It's all. And then like one day, one of the kids like, Daddy just beat the TV up. Like I'm like, how the heck he beat the TV up? Like how you do that? Like, yeah, I know. I come home, I'm taking it off the wall. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm throwing it out. I can't even get to nobody. And now I go to, so the next one I got, I went and bought another one. It was a little bigger. The last one was, the last one was 49, now this one's 55. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little, but really I'm saying, but this one, it ain't even the same. Because I know now, it's like, you know what's going to happen when this TV go. You just going to go and get another one. I mean, I'm saying, like, so you put so much into anything you got, but when you ain't got it, guess what? Like, I done lost blue leather jacket. I paid like $29.99. It was a real leather jacket. It's nice. I don't know. I'm talking about, I was geeked to have, I ain't had a blue leather jacket in like almost 15, 20 years, and I ain't buy that one. So, oh, yeah, it's blue leather. It looked nice. You know, I don't know what happened to it. It's missing. Like, I was so geeked to get it. I caught a great deal, bought it at the perfect timing. Oh, that's my jacket, right? No, just playing. But now it's like just MIA. Like I said, just grew legs and walked away. You know, like I'm just trying to tell you, like the van. The van caught fire, y'all. We ain't got it no more. We got another one now, y'all. Like I'm just trying to tell you, like that's like you put so much and you like, oh, this is so this and it's so that. Like that green Cadillac I was telling y'all that made me look like I was doing so well in. So one day when Raquel was going to the movies with her sister, right? And they was holding a conversation down Memorial Drive, and the light turned red and they kept driving. So what happened was the guy in the Honda Accord smashed that joint, and I ain't never had that car again. As nice as it was and as shiny as, I used to keep them rims looking good too. I'm just saying, it's just vanity. That's all any of it ever is. Like the BMW that my mama had that I took to prom that I was so geeked to be in, with the sunroof top and the leather seats. I don't know where he at. You understand? I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's what it all is, nothing. But we put so much into all of this, and we keep trying to get something. That Louis Vuitton bag that I had a nice Louis Vuitton bag. You know what happened to that? It was in my car one day, and somebody went in my car and, like, stole it. Yeah, stole your little instrument. I'm just saying. But I was so geeked to have it. I had the Louis Vuitton briefcase with the, oh, yeah, I ain't buy it, y'all. With the, I can't afford no Louis Vuitton briefcase. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm saying, though, but it's just all vanity. I ain't got it no more. Like, what, does that make me not be me no more? Luke chapter 12. Let's pick it up verse 13. Luke 12 and 13. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you?
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
Uh-huh.
And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods.
Uh-huh.
And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry.
So his mindset was like, look, I got all this stuff. I'm going to make it where I ain't got to eat. He done set up his retirement plan. All right, keep reading.
But God said unto him, Thou fool.
But the Lord said, you fool. Watch what he mean by that. Go ahead.
This night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be, which thou hast provided?
Right, so like I understand something. So you went and got all these goods you set up for your retirement and you ain't never get to spend it, he called him a fool because your mentality was to store this for the future. You could have gave it away. That's what you could have did. You could have made sure everybody was straight. But your mentality was, I don't want to work no more. Keep reading.
So he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God, and he said unto his disciples, Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither for the body, what you shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and God feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? And which of you with taking thought can add to his statue 1 cubit? If ye then be not able to do that which is least, why take ye thought for the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you, that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Go ahead.
If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven.
Like what he's saying is, so like how he was talking about the lilies and how he was talking about the birds and all, they don't get eternal life, y'all. Like, so he's saying that these things that really don't mean nothing, but God is still making sure that they look good, smell good, and are good. What you think he gonna do for you? He got you. That's what it really was all said and done. There's a scripture in Psalms where he said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or a seed begging bread. Like that's how that should be the motto around here. Meaning we got one another. Because if he ain't got you, he got somebody, we straight. Keep reading.
How much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith?
Right.
And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after.
Right. So again, he's trying to tell you, like, look, you got to get off with the world be on. Your mentality got to be where put your faith and put your thoughts on God. This is what is most important. Now everything else, let it just come. That's because look, the birds do not work for worms. They just go out there and just snatch them up. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't care. They fly. That's what birds do. They fly. You know what I mean? And we stress while they flying, and they do too on your car without conscience. Right. Go ahead. Keep reading.
And your Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
Right. The Lord say, I know what you need. I know exactly what you need. Go ahead.
But rather seek ye the kingdom of God.
So what your priority need to be is that you're seeking the kingdom of God. Go ahead.
And all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have and give alms.
So he's saying, he even telling you, like, look, put yourself in a position where you can give. Go ahead.
Provide yourself bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not.
Right, and making sure that you are obtaining treasures in heaven. Keep reading.
Where no thief approaches, neither moth corrupts.
Right, he like, man, you need to put yourself in a spot where can't nobody grab none of it. Let's go to our last scripture. You can do those others for homework. Matthew 25 is a good one. Philippians, Deuteronomy. Yo, that one's cold too. That Deuteronomy put you in check. Like, look, Deuteronomy going to tell you, like, man, you ain't provided. You can do all that for homework. We're going to finish this up in Colossians. Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3, we're going to read verses 1 through 15. this is where we're going to finish this up for the day. Like I said, the rest of it, put your work in. Again, it's about understanding you got to have a level of contentment in this life. You got to, like, otherwise salvation don't come. It is very important that you become content. Because you can't become content. Your mind, like, I'm going to tell you, the elderly, they done figured it out. You know what I mean? They content. You know, they just, like, when I say they content, man, I mean, you go to some of these old homes, older folk homes, nursing homes or whatever. So I don't know what it is. You know, I'm not old enough to understand. But you don't walk in there and they be sad. Nah, you know, I mean, I done been in a lot of them. So some people are sad. You know what I'm saying? But for the majority of it, the environment of the nursing homes is to provide fun things for the elderly to do. You know what I mean? Like, just like my grandma. Right now, my grandmother, which didn't dawn on me that she is in her 80s now. Or, yeah, my mama keeps saying, I'm like, yo, yeah, you're right. My grandma was born in 1940. Like, yeah, I guess she is creeping. Because she doesn't act like that. But she lives in a senior living home. And they be doing all types of fun stuff. But really, they content, though. They done live their life, they content. You know what I'm saying? You come down there, you visit them, they happy seeing you. They happy holding a conversation with you. This is fun for them now. The same person that was boogie-woogie in 1929 in Harlem somewhere would stay out every night. This person is now content while they cooped up in the room staring out the window hoping the visitor come by. So it just seems like as time progresses, you get it. You just hope to live long enough to get it, though. You hope you experience enough in life to understand that it ain't that major. It ain't that serious. Colossians chapter 3, let's pick him up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above.
So we was risen with Christ at our baptism. You know what I'm saying? We came up out that water. We had went in an old person. We came out a new person. We resurrected with Christ. Go ahead.
Where Christ sitteth on the right hand
So he
of
said
God.
what your mind need to be on is seeking heavenly things now. Once that baptism has taken place, we seeking heavenly things. Go ahead.
Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
Uh-huh.
For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God.
Right, so he says, so once this happens, you set your affection on things above, not on things on. So your main focus shouldn't be this new $250,000 house you're trying to buy. You know what I'm saying? It need to be getting salvation. Now, by the way, if you happen to get a $250,000 house, that's nice. That's cool. I would say try to find that house paying $150 on the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere try to do it another way. Investigate the matter. Maybe save up some money instead of buying the 2020 BMW. Maybe stack up 10 grand and buy a 2010 because he nice too. You know what I'm saying? Like trust me. You ain't been in one, then you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, there, you can still get it and be looking good and everything, and done did it with a whole lot less. And put your focus on what's necessary. And that's your salvation. Everything else is just uncivilized, as they say. Go ahead, what verse?
Verse 4.
So verse 2, set your affections on things above, not on the earth, for you are dead at your baptism. Your life is hid with Christ, your sins in God. When Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. So when the Lord come back, that's when you get your salvation. Go ahead, next verse, verse 5.
Mortify therefore your members.
So with all that being said, we're killing things now. More like when you're in this walk, there are things that you have to eliminate. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth. And what are they, Brother Dale?
Fornication, uncleanliness,
go ahead,
inordinate affection,
yeah,
evil concupiscence, and
covetousness,
which is idolatry.
Go ahead, keep reading. So these are the things we mortify, like a mortician. You know, that's the same preface of a word. You killing these things in you. He said, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection. All these things deal with relations, sex. That's what this stuff is. Get that under control. That's what he's telling you. When you get into this thing, get that. And that's all about pride, too. It's about pride and covetousness, too. You got to go out there and soar your royal oats. You know what I'm saying? You done reached the midlife crisis, so now you want to go get you a Mercedes Benz and a young girl because of how you feeling about yourself. Things of this nature. All right? And he's saying, get that stuff under control. Go ahead, verse 6.
For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of
He
disobedience.
said, because his wrath come upon you when you got that type of stuff as your focal point. Keep reading.
In the which ye also walked sometimes, when ye lived in them.
Right, you used to walk that way. Keep going.
But now ye also put off all these.
So he said, now also when you resurrected with God, you put this off too. You get rid of this too. What else?
Anger,
Yeah.
wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth.
Uh-huh.
Lie not one to another.
So what he's telling you right here, honestly, learn how to love one another. Learn how to get along with people. Learn how to, so this is what he's telling you. This is what's important for your salvation. Keep reading.
Seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
So once you got that baptism, you made that covenant, now you're trying to put on a new man, which is he's going to be built up or renewed in knowledge after the one that created him. So you constantly feeding them with knowledge. That's going to get you to know what to do next. And then you got to start learning how to execute. Get the knowledge and you got to apply it. Let's skip down to verse 12.
Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved.
So he's saying this is what you put on as the elect of God, holy and beloved. Go ahead.
Bowels of mercy.
Right, this is what you got to have, mercy. Go ahead.
Kindness.
Yeah.
Humbleness of mind.
Yeah.
Meekness. Long-suffering.
What else?
Forbearing one another
Yeah.
and forgiving one another.
Uh-huh.
If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye.
Last verse. Go ahead.
And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness.
Right. So he's saying, like, look, when it's all said and done, you need to have charity. This is the bond of perfectness. So, brothers and sisters, I heard we got some understanding today. Salvation comes with love and contentment. Praise the Lord. So, don't worry. We ain't got but 4 more Sabbaths over here. So, yeah, about that. You know what I mean? Y'all keep praying on that, though, because we ain't got keys yet. You know, but we got what we want. You know, when I say we got what we want, we got the location we want. And we working the deal out. We got the price where it's at. So we should be hearing something soon. When we get keys, don't worry, we're going to take a tour. But it ain't nothing to see. I'm just going to tell you, but we'll still take a tour. You can at least see the neighborhood because we got work to do when we get there. Not only do we got to work on our building when we get there. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Not only do we got to work on the building, but we also got to work on ourselves when we're in there, and that we are prepared as a church to take on the endeavors of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And trying to do our job and being a light to that community.
We in the midst of it, y'all.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, keep them brothers on the road in prayer. Ira and they down in North Carolina, and then we got the crew went up to New York. So keep them in prayer. We had a weird morning, all of us. But we there. We en route. You know my door was open. So I'm just saying, yeah, I know, like, it's all good though. But, you know, so everything is what it is. So make sure you keep them in prayer. Then I hadn't seen Sister Rose lately, so I called and talked to her. She been out of town, you know. So she's just out of town. She'll be back. But definitely said keep her and her family in prayer. Sister Lenore, as you know or may don't know, she had surgery. We went well this week. You know, so her and Paul, I think her recovery time is about 4 to 6 weeks or something. But, you know, she should be back around. Make sure y'all keeping up with Sister Lenore, calling. I don't know about visitors, but you can talk to Brother Paul. Like, you know, I don't know how that works. Because, to be honest with you, when I got out the hospital and I had surgery, don't come see me. You know what else, to be honest with you? I ain't even want to talk to you. I mean, I'm just going to tell you the truth. When I had my surgery for about a good month, I was good. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's why it's funny. You know, but everybody's different, though. And so, you know, like I said, you definitely can call, and you'll see if this going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You do your due diligence. Is anything I can do? Do you need me to go grab something? Blah, blah, this. You know what I'm saying? You do your due diligence. But, you know, make sure y'all keep up with Brother Paul and Sister Lenore. Also, Brother Peter from New York. He's been here a few times. His live-in cousin. And when I say live-in cousin, because sometimes when you say cousin, I got a million of them. They live together. This is where he resides. Passed away yesterday morning. And so that's a lot of issues for Peter. Not only the death and the funeral, but they live together for a reason. New York is a very expensive place. So just keep Brother Peter in prayer. You know what I'm saying? Just keep him in prayer. Even though I just seen him on the mortgage, y'all. He retired, so Brother Peter be getting around, yeah. But make sure y'all keep Brother Peter in prayer. Make sure y'all, thank you. Make sure y'all praying for Brother Gary. He been having some physical ailments as he out here trying to stay young, but it don't work like that. So make sure y'all keep Brother Gary in prayer. Also, y'all remember the last time y'all seen Sister Wendy? Y'all no, right? Yeah. Gotta get the devil his due. So make sure y'all praying for Sister Wendy, because that's, for y'all don't know, that's Jess's sister. She ain't heard from her either. Right. So, but Wendy has a lot in her world going on. So, like I told Jessa, when I talked to Jessa and Kenny, I said, look, man, I just need to know you alive, because I watch Forensic Files and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just need to know that you're alive. I'm not one to judge people's lives and what's going on or nothing, because I done been through hell to the worst case scenarios. So it's like, if you going through it, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't judging you, but a lot of times people be on that. You know what I'm saying? They, so they don't want to tell you what life is. But so, just keep praying for her. You knew the devil was gonna come. Well, obviously it did in some kind of way. And like when I talked to Kenny and Jessa, they gave me some assurance, but they ain't been able to talk to him either. But one of the things Jessa said, this ain't the first time that happened either. That she kind of disappeared, but not really. You know what I mean? So Kenny saying, well, I don't want to have to go there. You know what I'm saying? But, like me and go, because she lives far from here. So just keep her in prayer. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to know, but that she got baptized. That's the last time you seen her. That's enough to know. So keep Brother Jackson in prayer. Pray for that little loudmouth boy who's going to get his butt whipped when we get home. No, I'm just playing. No. But no, keep Sister Joan in prayer. Oh, man, I done got them all started, huh? Keep Sister Joan in prayer. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. We ain't got about 1 more month, and we can hide these babies in the ceiling somewhere. Not just playing. But we got but like 1 more month, y'all. So y'all just keep praying everything go good. Because like we had got spoiled. Y'all didn't know how good we had it. You know what I mean? Until we got back in this little cramped up room. But we can't stay neither hot nor cold. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all keep praying for Jackson, though. Like I say, keep Sister Joan in your prayer. Sister Mildred, Brother Earl, Brother Bill and Joyce. Sister Erica and the boys. Yeah, I always keep them in prayer. What's the other people who ain't been here in a while? Ira and Sister Lisa. But somebody else, though. Oh, keep Elizabeth. Keep Sister Elizabeth in prayer. She be watching online all the time. She be wanting to be here. Sister Erica be coming lately. But yeah, she got a nice little run over the. Sister Erica done had 6 months where we seen her once or twice. But over these last 6 months, yeah, it might have been once or twice we ain't seen her. But still though, like I say, when I think about it, I just know she ain't signed up for the situation she in right now. And so we have to, and a lot of times we forget. You know what I'm saying? Or we see you today and you good. Like, she lost her husband. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it might have been about 4 years ago now. But she had to raise these boys on her own since then. So I just say, man, just keep her in prayer. Like James 5 tell you, the prayers of the righteous avail as much. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe her strength is in our prayers. Well, if it is, we can't stop. Right. So, yeah, so with that being said, anything I forget, y'all? Go ahead, sis. Here? Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's March what now? March 13th? It's Sabbath on the 14th? Yeah. Oh, Oh, I guess you're right. So I keep saying I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town that weekend. But I kept saying it was the 13th. But the 14th, okay, so the 14th, church going to be, so not next Sabbath, but the Sabbath after that. See, we ain't got long, y'all. We going to be out of here. But the Sabbath after next, we going to start at 1:15? So what time are we going to be able to get in the room? Oh, we ain't going to be able to get in the room at 1:15. All right, so I don't know who on schedule to teach. Who on schedule to teach that day? You know, Josh? No, the 13th, when I go out of town. Or the 14th. All right, well, I'll make sure they know, too. But yeah, so church will start a little later that Sabbath at 1:15, and we'll discuss it more next week, because I forgot. Not next Sabbath, but the following Sabbath. So, yeah, you never, all right. All right, not forget anything. Go ahead, sis. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah, keep Sister Melina in prayer, too, definitely. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, pray for Micaiah. She's having a migraine. So. She missed a lot of school, man. We're going to have to homeschool you or something. Then you over to Shanita house. This ain't working. Yeah, bet you don't like that. Now you want to get rid of them headaches. So you better pray, too, then. Yeah, so, man, look here. Make sure we praying for one another. And what it is, 3:46. Brother Chris, where you go? Oh, 4:30? Bible study? All right, so we'll start Bible study up at 4:30. And is there anything else, anybody? All right, go ahead, sis. Yeah. Well, actually, where are we? We in tomorrow's March. When is Passover? In April? Ooh, so we like got a month, huh? Ooh, we really got to make sure everything's straight then. Yeah, so, dang, time be moving, boy. So we got, like, I guess about, 4 to 5 Sabbaths before we get to Passover? Ooh, this is an early one. Yeah, so we got about 4 to 5 Sabbaths. And, again, what the sister's saying is right. We start getting that bread out. So, we like to have cake parties around here. So, over the next 4 Sabbaths, y'all can bring that stuff in here. And make sure y'all, what you say? A what? Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, make sure y'all dump that, too. Dump your vacuum and your, dump your toaster. Yeah, that's a good one. Dump your toaster, your vacuum. No, but I'm saying these collect bread. And you don't be thinking about it. Check your car, especially if you got kids. If you got kids, it do. Trust me. If you got kids, see, now you might not have that problem no more. But my vacuum got bread in it. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can guarantee you mine do. So, so I appreciate that. Her reminding us the feast is coming. Yeah, hey, man, it's creeping up. So Lord willing, we're going to be partying in our new ensemble at that time. So just be praying because, like I said, we ain't got keys yet, but we've agreed on terms. They want us there, and we're going to figure it out. And however ready it is ready enough for us to feast in it today. So however ready it is at that point is where because I don't think it's not going to be ready for how we want it to be finally. But yeah, so anything else, anybody? All right, y'all, let's make sure we're praying for one another. Stand face Jerusalem. What if he said no? Oh.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
Deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory forever.
And the glory forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endureth forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endureth forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name.
The Holy Jacob.
Holy One of Jacob.
The mighty one of Israel.
The mighty one of Israel.
The King of kings.
King of kings.
And the Lord of lords.
The Lord of lords.
Amen.
Amen. The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The Lord make his face shine upon thee.
The Lord make his face shine upon thee.
And be gracious unto thee.
And be gracious unto thee.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee.
And give thee peace.
And give thee peace.
And they should put my name upon the children of Israel.
They shall put my name upon the children of Israel.
And I will bless them.
I will bless them.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. In Jesus' name. Amen.